Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Ricmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, Ricmotech.com.
Tonight we find ourselves in the Wisconsin Dells, where a World War I veteran who served with the Army Air Corps of Engineers and then came to own the Elkhart Sand and Gravel Company sold 1,750 shares, each priced at $100, to finance what would become the National Park of Speed. Having driven many of Wisconsin's countryside roads to gather ideas, he then walked his land in Plymouth and laid out the course in his mind: 520 acres of land and 4 miles of pavement where drivers may be able to take the iconic kink flat out, but they're never going to feel comfortable doing it. Welcome to the park that Cliff Tufte built, Road America, for round number 6 of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech World Challenge, presented by Performa Texas Elite Graphics and Butt Kicker here on Apex Racing TV. 7 rounds, 3 continents, and some of the best GT3 and GTP virtual racers around. I'm Greg Ginsburg, and joining me in the announce booth, as always, is Larry Lefty McLeod, along with the two Johns, Jonathan Grabowski and John Robertson, in the virtual production trailer, bringing you all the great views of tonight's action. So good evening, Larry, and welcome back once again. I think our home for the next 2 weeks, the National Park of Speed.
It's good. We're going to definitely get in with some cheese and sausage up in these parts. I love this track because it's no mystery to anybody. I just think this place is one of the best racing tracks in the world. It always seems to develop great racing. And I think it's built for the cars that we've got here tonight. As much fun as it is to watch, Formula V's and Spec Fords run around this little place in 3 minutes a lap or whatever they do, watching these guys do it is a whole lot of fun, and it's wide enough. It's great racing. This is what it's all about, if you ask me.
Yeah, Larry, I can't disagree here. I mean, the track is only about 55 feet wide, pretty much all the way around the entire 4 miles, but it is a place that gives so many opportunities for GT3 cars, for these prototype cars, the GTP cars, to just stretch their legs and, and not only reach that ultimate speed, but also because there's so many straightaways, it really makes it, I think, much easier for the GTP cars to work their way through traffic. But let's do this. Why don't we turn things over to Kevin Ford, as he does each and every week and every round here on the Ricmotech World Challenge. He is going to give us tonight's track guide of the National Park of Speed, Road America.
Welcome, everyone, to beautiful Road America, located here in Lake Elkhart, Wisconsin. Great to have you with us as we provide you your track guide today around this amazing 4-mile road course known as America's Nürburgring. Boy, I tell you, this place will allow you to open up the horsepower and really enjoy some speed and action here at this track. Let's head up the front straightaway here, and it is a long one. This front straight is nearly a mile in length, coming in at about 0.83 of a mile. A lot of speed here as we go by the pit exit there to the right. You'll see a lot of fans lined up on the outside of the fences here around the course. Down into turn 1, it's a very fast sweeper. You can see just a little lift of the throttle, throw that car down into the apex. Around the slight right of turn 2 here, we'll head down into the right-hander of turn 3. Very fast exit here. Want to hit that just right. Launch up into a lot of speed here coming down the second straightaway here at Road America, this one being nearly a half a mile in length. Again, a lot of speed and a lot of opportunity for overtaking. Coming down into the famous brake zone of turn 5. Very heavy on the brakes, going to get that rotation early right down to the bottom, get a nice launch up off the corner here under the Corvette Bridge. Into this blind entry here of turn 5. Very difficult corner. It wraps up kind of tight on exit. Want to get right back to the left to track out for the entry here of turn 7. And then we're going to head down, hurry down. It's a little short straightaway here into turn 8. Another heavy brake zone. Very tight left-hander. Come off of 8. Set up our entry into the carousel under the big Speedville Bridge here. Turns 9 and 10. A lot of speed, a lot of rotation coming down into the exit here. Get right to the bottom. Come right back to the floor and open her up as we head to the famous kink here at Road America. Very fast right-hander, just a slight lift of the throttle, right back down to the gas. Here we go, down through Kettle Bottoms here, which is the famous backstretch at Road America. This will bring us down into Canada Corner. Another very tight right-hander. Some good speed up off of that corner into turns 13 and 13A. Bill Mitchell bend here. Very tight right or left-hander there. That's tough to get that just right. This will bring us into the final corner here at Road America, turn 14. And certainly you want to get a good launch off that exit because this brings you out onto that 0.83 of a mile long straightaway. Really open up the horsepower as we come across the start-finish line. There is your track guide for the beautiful Road America. Thank you for being with us.
And thanks so much to Kevin Ford for tonight's track guide of beautiful National Park of Speed, Road America. I almost said Road Atlanta, by the way.
Wonder why. You may have been there for the last 72 hours. But...
yeah, exactly. Not since I've been there since Thursday. But there you go. Thanks so much, Kevin Ford. And, Larry, as he was pushing that Lamborghini around all 4 miles, you're one, you obviously are taken by the beautiful land around the track, but this is essentially, with the exception of the kink, it just seems like it's a couple long straightaways tied together, four longer straightaways tied together by a bunch of 90-degree turns, but it really is just so much more than that. There's so much nuance here that makes not only driving the track but racing this track such a challenge for these racers.
It does, and I think it puts you on the limit in a couple of spots, and but it also gives you great passing zones. Those braking zones into 1, braking zone into 5, really great places to make moves on folks and to keep the racing going. But then you got corners like, 6, just as you come up under the Corvette bridge, where things get a little sketchy, especially in high horsepower cars. Obviously, the carousel is a bit of a game. The kink is so famous. And then you get to pass again if you're going into Canada just right. Brake too late, and you're in the gravel trap on the other side. And it's got those kind of moments that you have to keep racing, keep pushing, because there's so much speed here that you'll lose somebody if you're not really staying in it. But if you're with somebody side by side, that battle could go on lap after lap, swapping positions just 2-3 times a lap. And I'm looking forward to some of that stuff tonight.
Oh, I am as well. All right, so our drivers are now out on course for their 15-minute qualifying session, and as we always do, besides getting that track guide from Kevin Ford, we always give our drivers 15 minutes for qualifying, and it is what is known as a lone qualifying session. Essentially, the drivers will have the track all to themselves. They will have 4 laps in order to set their fastest time and set the grid for tonight's race in our 3 different classes: GTP, GT3 AM, and GT3 Pro. And as you are going to be watching, and we're going to start throwing their times up on our timing tower on the left-hand side of the screen, as it looks like we've already got one driver, Mr. Larson, Shane Larson, who has put in the first of the GTP laps, and we're watching him right now. You can pretty much tell the GTP cars, the BMW M8 V8 machines, from the GT3 cars, but in case you didn't and you want to know where they are on our timing pylon, the GTP cars, they all have the black number boards, but blue windshield banners on them, and blue, actually I guess they're black end plates and black, forget the blue, they're black number boards, black windshield banners, black end plates on the wings as well, and I think black mirrors as in addition to that. And you'll be able to see them though in our timing pylon with the position that they are in. The numbers for their current position on track would be in blue. And then for the GT3 cars, we've got both the AM and the Pro classes. Let's take a look first at GT3 Pro, where, yes, I can be reasonably certain, like Jennifer McDonald right now, who is our early provisional pole sitter in GT3 Pro. They've got red number boards, red windshield banners, red end plates on their wings, and red mirrors. And on the timing pylon there, you'll see their positioning in red. And then the GT3 AM cars, much like Jeff Jacobs right here, who is currently our provisional pole sitter in GT3 AM, green windshield banners, green mirrors and number boards, and green end plates on the wings. And well, there you go on our timing pylon, green positioning as well. That's how you tell them all apart. So Larry, couple things here as our drivers are out for qualifying. We mentioned at the top of the show, of course, our great longtime sponsor, Performa Texas Elite Graphics, but new this season for season number 6. We also have Butt Kicker joining us here as a sponsor for the Ricmotech World Challenge, and they are offering up a wonderful prize this season, a $280, or to be more exact, $279.95 package, the Butt Kicker Gamer Plus unit, and going to be giving it away to one lucky driver in the Ricmotech World Challenge. And what we're essentially doing is we're essentially raffling this prize off, and the more points that you accumulate over the season here in the Ricmotech World Challenge, the more entries you have in that raffle. You get one entry for every point that you earn in the Ricmotech World Challenge. So obviously the higher up, the better you finish at the end of the season, the more chances you have to win. But again, want to thank Butt Kicker for coming on board and offering up that wonderful prize.
So qualifying has gotten underway, and what we're seeing is our last round winner in the GTPs. That'd be Mr. Larson in the provisional pole right now in our GTP class. Shane's sitting there with that 1:46.0, pretty quick time around 4 miles of Road America. That's pretty impressive. And then over in the GT3 Pros, Mike Dam's got the advantage right now over Jennifer McDonald, as we're watching Mike showing us how maybe not to take turn 3 here at Road America.
We call that cutting the grass at the National Park of Speed.
Yes, he was out there using the BMW tractor, but he already has provisional pole. so he's still trying to go a little bit quicker as he's on his third lap. But then over in the GT3 AM, currently it's Jeff Jacobs in his AMG, the quickest of the GT3 AM cars. Currently 11th overall. He'd be about the 6th of the GT3s out there, but he is quickest of the AMs.
All right, and so we mentioned that Shane Larson, our provisional pole sitter, was our winner 2 weeks ago at Interlagos. We had Marlon Jones from Lead Paw Racing finishing second in the GTP cars, with Tom Pichette from Purple Sector Motorsports finishing third, Brandon Guillot finishing fourth, and then Stephen May from Mayforce Racing finishing in fifth position. And I think probably most notable was Palakui Grant, who had won the first 3 races of the season, had some issues very early on in the race, and ended up I think only completing, if I remember correctly, somewhere along the lines of 2 laps, and finished a distant 6th. And but because of the number of wins that he had taken previously and the points that he had built up, he is still our championship leader in GTP. Palakui Grant with currently 116 points. Shane Larson, again our winner from 2 weeks ago, with 105. So currently 19 points back, another 5 points back from there. Probably 11 points back off the championship, because I can't do math. Marlon Jones is Marlon Jones is another 8 points back from there, with 97 points, another 5 back to Tom Pichette from Purple Sector, and then Stephen May with 88 points, just a few points back, I guess 4 points off of Tom Pichette.
Worth noting is Palakui Grant had mentioned, actually, I think in one of our post-race interviews earlier in the season, that he'd be missing a couple of rounds. Tonight appears to be one of those rounds. So maybe an opportunity again for Larson to continue to try and catch him, or maybe, Brandon Guillot. You see Marcel Leclerc, Marlon Jones, Tom Pichette, got some folks in here that maybe want to take a crack at getting some good points. Palakui Grant, all he can do is see what happens in a couple weeks when he comes back, but he's not here tonight.
No, and as we can see right now, Larson's got a pretty strong grip on the GTP field here in qualifying, as he has almost 1.2 seconds on the rest of the field. But between Guillot and Leclerc, just a couple of tenths. And if we take a look there between Leclerc and Pichette at this point, I think 32 thousandths of a second are separating those two drivers. And Marlon Jones not very far back from there, as we see Marcel Leclerc having a bit of an issue at turn 14. And now we get to see that incredibly tight turning circle of the 50 machine. We're on board right now with Tom Pichette, as he is looking to, and has just completed his 4th and final flying lap. 147.70. That is good for 3rd fastest. All right, so Larry, let's take a look at the standings here and where things stand with the 2 different GT3 classes. We'll start off with GT3 AM, where Baron Glover and his Glass Pro Esport Ferrari 488 took the win 2 weeks ago. Jeff Jacobs, who is, I believe, still our provisional pole sitter in AM this week, finished in 2nd. Dre Divock from The Wrong Stuff motored his Porsche 911 to 3rd, with Greg Brockway from Frito Sport 4th. Dominique Angelico finished in 5th position in his BMW M4 GT3. And if we take a look at the point standings now in AM, it is Baron Glover currently with a 9-point advantage over Dre Divock, so the Glass Pro Esports driver, with 79. 70 points for Dre Divock. It is another 0-point advantage. It's actually a tie for 2nd right now between Dre Divock and Jeff Jacobs. 10 points back from there. Greg Brockway currently 4th in the championship, with Russ Ruddick 4 points back in 5th for Flying Tortoise Motorsports. And you can see it's pretty darn tight from there on back. Leo Dragata, who I believe we're going to have in here hopefully in just a few moments as an interview. And a matter of fact, Larry, why don't we do this? We've got Leo sitting in the green room. Why don't we bring him in, and when we finish up, we'll take a look at the point standings in pro. So coming and joining us now in the interview booth, Leo Dragata, driver of the number 118 Dragon Sport Racing GT3 AM Porsche 911.
Leo, hey, I do like your Discord name of usually crashed iRacer, but we'll let that go now.
Thank you.
Are you excited to run tonight's race?
Yeah. I mean, the Porsche is actually not really good here. It was kind of difficult to do a setup, and I actually had someone help me with the setup.
Yeah.
But the kink
you get some good practice in with that setup?
Yeah. The kink is the biggest issue.
Yeah, the Porsche, I'm sure, has moments of looseness. Is the Porsche just your choice for this season, or is it really one of your favorite cars on the sim?
Last season in 2022 is definitely my favorite. So consistent and smooth. But I think the BMW is the best this season, in my opinion.
Yeah, but once you pick one, you're kind of stuck with it. I think we also have your brother in the field. We'll tell our audience that you're not the oldest driver in the field. You might be the youngest, but I think your brother's out there as well. Is that right?
Yeah, teammates.
Yeah. Do you guys have any bit of rivalry? Like you come up together on the track? Is it? Any kind of pushing, or you work together?
He beat me last round, so he's kind of excited. But top 5. He's trying to this is his first season, so he's just trying to get 2 points and just stay middle pack. But this is my second online season with and just trying to actually trying to push now. After kind of looked where I was last time.
Yeah, no, you've been quick so far. This is a tough league. I don't know if the competition in this league, is that something you looked forward to coming in to have some good competition?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to let you go. I think you guys are about to go to grid. Good luck tonight, and if things go well, maybe we'll get a chance to talk to you when it's all over.
Yep.
All right, there you go. That was Leo Dragata, all 13 years of him, driver of the number 118 Dragon Sport Racing GT3 AM Porsche 911. And Larry, let's hope that his screen name in Discord is not how things turn out for him on track. All right, so let's do this. We'll run down the starting grid, and then we'll get to the point standings in GT3 Pro, where Shane Larson tonight from the Wrong Stuff Racing. If you can't be right, I guess you should be wrong. He is your pole sitter, 146.049. I think I said the same thing 2 weeks ago. Brandon Guillot is going to start on the outside of the front row, about 1.2 seconds off of Larson's times. Tom Pichette will make up the third spot for Purple Sector Motorsports in the number 34 machine, while the number 33 of Leclerc Motorsports driver Marcel Leclerc will start in fourth. Stephen May from Mayforce Racing will drive the number 50 machine. He'll start fifth. And then Marlon Jones in the 25 car, he'll start in fifth, or probably in sixth.
All right, in the GT3s, we'll have the pros up front, and he comes off of 2 wins in a row, and now he's on pole in GT3 Pro. That is Travis Schwenke from Orion Racing, edging out his teammate, Mike Dam. So there's your front row lockout for Orion. On the second row, Jennifer McDonald from BTL Motorsports lined up alongside Iago Morez from Iago Racing. On the next row, you've got on the inside, young Dean Dibdall, another one of the young up-and-comers in this league from ZP Motorsports, and his father thinks he destroys tires. We'll see what happens tonight. He'll be lined up alongside the highest qualifier from the GT3 AM, Jeff Jacobs from SCCA Foundation. The next row, we're going to have a fan favorite from D2DE Racing, Bobby Childs, lined up alongside another one from the AM category, Dre Divock from The Wrong Stuff. On row 8, overall, this will be about the 4th row of the GT3s. You've got a couple of AM drivers, the inside Baron Glover from Glass Pro Esport, and his teammate, Mark Phil, on the outside, also Glass Pro Esport. On the next row on the inside from Clow Valve Racing, Kenny Duval, lined up alongside another one of our Wrong Stuff drivers, a couple of them in this field, Dominic Angelicchio. On the next row on the inside, it's going to be Chris Thorman from D2D Racing, lined up alongside Frito Sport Racing's Edgar Sancinelli. Next row back, Steve Daniel on the inside, SKKJ Racing, alongside Brennan Horn from D2D. On the 12th row of the entire field, David Payton on the inside, D2D, and he'll be lined up alongside the other. See, that's
Lucas Dragata, I believe.
Lucas Dragata there,
yep.
From Dragon Sport Racing. And the next row, we're going to have Peyton on the inside, D2D. Oh, sorry, that's the same row there. Let's go to the next row. Andrew Packer on the inside, C67 Sim Racing, alongside another flying Tortoise entry, Russ Ruddick. On the next row, Elias Alabi from Lay Pro Racing, alongside Jose Cabrera from Ricmotech Motorsports. Hey, I know that.
Actually, I guess I got it wrong, guys. So that was Leo Dragata up
That was
front.
Leo, yes.
Yeah.
Because we've got Lucas, the teammate here from Dragon Sport, lined up alongside Greg Brockway. Next row back, it's John Casey from Frito Sport alongside Patrick Preventis, another Frito Sport driver. And then we've got
Ray Ryu.
Yes, he's alongside Nick Horvath, Lead Paw Racing. Not sure why the first names don't always come up.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Very strange. Yeah, and Nick Horvath starting off, I guess, in 34th position. And so, Larry, I thought it was very funny that Leo Dragata didn't like referring to Lucas as his brother, but as his teammate.
That was awesome. I love it.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
That kid's mature beyond his years for sure.
Yes.
A couple of things noted here. Nick Horvath, Ray Ryu did not take qualifying laps, and I don't believe they might be out there.
And I'm seeing Dean Dibdahl in the pits currently, Larry. And,
yes, but I also Brennan Horan I don't see currently on the track. So there may be some folks that didn't quite make it to grid. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Well, we know that Brennan is usually usually giving us information from the pit lane. He's texting information to us.
That could be.
Which, by the way, I've got a real life story to match that from this past weekend.
The other thing that could be going on here is there are 34 cars in the field tonight entered. One of the biggest fields we've seen. Sometimes the timing and scoring kind of doesn't quite see those last cars till we flip down. So looks like Dibdahl and Horn are both noted in the pits.
All right. Well, while the pace cars bring in our prototype field now down the Kettle Bottoms towards Canada Corner, let's quickly take a look here at the point standings in GT3 Pro coming into this evening, where Travis Schwenke is currently your points leader with 117 points. For Orion Racing, he's taken 3 out of the 4 rounds. His teammate Mike Dam has won the other. He has 108 points, so he is 9 points back off of the lead. Yago Mores 14 points back from there for Yago Racing in his Lamborghini Huracan. And then we've got Jennifer McDonald just 2 points back from Mores in the BTL Motorsports BMW M4 GT4. And then finally Andrew Parente. Well, not finally, we got a lot of drivers in the field here, but Andrew Parente from Axiom Motorsports, his Lamborghini Huracan, currently sitting 5th in the championship with 85 points. All right, so the pace car now on the pit lane, Larry, and our real life starter getting ready to throw the green flag as the drivers come up over the top of the hill, and green flag is now in the air for our GTP racers. And jumping out to a very early lead here is Shane Larson with Brandon Guillot. He's got Marcel Leclerc right behind him, and then we see jumping to the inside Leclerc, but Guillot goes to cover. Pichette slots into 4th position in that number 34, the purple machine. Then with Stephen May and Marlon Jones, as they all come down into turn 3 as we jump over now to our GT3 field as they wait for the green flag. And now they've got the green flag as well, and they are underway with Travis Schwenke and Mike Dam. Schwenke in that green, white, and blue number 16 machine, jumping out briefly into the lead ahead of Mike Dam. And a little bit further back, we've got the Lamborghini of Yago Mores to the inside, that red and blue machine, as he now slots into 3rd place, and still side by side Jennifer McDonald's Bobby Childs. Bobby Childs back for the first time in a number of weeks. He's going to slot in now into 5th position.
His fans rejoicing as he's got a big following there, does Bobby. But great to see him back. But yeah, watching Mores aggressive right there on the start, jumping past Jennifer McDonald. to get up into that third spot as they all finally get in line. Also interesting was out in front of the entire field there in the GTP, Shane Larson had a good run off at turn 3, and then he started just weaving to get heat in the tires early in this race. Probably something he learned from the race that we had a couple weeks back, where the car kind of on cold tires was a bit sketch. So smart for him to try and work if he had an opportunity to get some heat in the tires. And that into the wall is one of the Dragatas. That's Lucas into the wall.
That is the 119 machine exactly going off, and that is Larry, I think, coming out of turn number 5, heading up the hill towards that Corvette bridge. And you know, again, we talked about that early on. It's one of the 2 threshold braking opportunities here at Road America, and it looks like he had maybe he had a little bit of an issue getting back to the throttle as we look at the 2 leaders right now, as we've seen so often this season.
Oh, that's a misspin in the background there. That looked like Dre Divock. It is.
Yes, indeed. And another one, of the Dragatas going off.
Oh, we got a big pile up.
A big pile up here in the Kettle Bottoms, as I think we had one of the other Dragatas go off, and I think that was possibly Leo.
Who's in the fence?
Let's see here. I think Halabi was involved as well. Possibly Jose Cabrera involved.
There.
You mentioned Dre Divock, and I believe in addition to him,
I'll be interested to see in the replay. It looked like Divock may have actually started that with a spin at the kink as he came through, and everyone behind him just checked up or swerved or something. But I'm hearing announcements going on. So
yeah, so the pits are closed right now, and I think the drivers that are showing in the pits, Larry, probably are taking the tow in the session here. But the word is that the pit lane is now closed. It does appear as both Brennan Horan and Dean Dibdahl, Larry, did join the action from the pit lane. Perhaps it was a good choice for them.
You know, at this point, as his father had said, well, it's one less tire run around the track that he's going to be shredding tires with. So this might actually help his cause over the course of this 90-minute race. But kidding aside, I don't know the reason why he and Brennan had started from the pits, but this now seems to be helping them be able to catch back into the field. And in fact, a lot of folks already having gone off, if they got through cleanly, it's going to help them. And that is a slow car on the right.
That is right now Stephen May. And I'm wondering if he had perhaps, because I think, Larry, we've also gone to a full course caution here, not unsurprisingly. And I'm wondering if perhaps Stephen May didn't get the call immediately, and he was given positions back. As you'll notice that in order to keep a good pace, Shane Larson has the pit lane speed limiter on the car. You know, as we take a look and see exactly what precipitated this pile up here. And so, Larry, we did have the one car go around, and then I believe we had the Dragata car check up rather early and spin. Perhaps not even a result of that initial spin. But then, as obviously as the track only 55 feet wide here, a number of drivers having to try and avoid and unfortunately not able to keep the cars on the pavement and avoid 2 spinning cars, 2 helicoptering cars.
Yeah, that was just a whole lot of mayhem there. First time to the kink. We know that the kink is legendary for a lot of accidents and typically high speed and a lot of carnage. A lot of these guys thinking maybe they can pick up a position here or hold a position down the first run to Canada Corner. Several of them didn't make it that far.
All right, let's take a look, Larry. I think we've got another replay lined up here.
This is on board with Dragata by chance.
Well,
that's Dragata spinning.
That's Halabi, I believe, that
he's
got
the one that ends up Spider-Man in the fence.
Yeah.
As you can see from that angle.
He has a very good grip.
We laugh, but he's now in the pit along with Andrew Packer, Leo Dragata, of course, Dre Divock. They're all in the pits now. Brandon Guillot just pulled into, or he's still in the pits as well. The rest of these.
Yeah, as they are now going to go 2 laps down, as we now have the rest of the field starting their third flying lap, or their third not flying. We saw that on lap 1.
There was a lot of flying.
We saw that from Halabi on lap 1.
Elias Alabi showed us what flying through the kink is really like.
Oh my gosh.
As
all right, let's take a look at Ray Ryu here. Now we're gonna take a look at his onboard.
yeah, it's also I'm watching Ray Ryu come to the field there. They're now maybe moving him back. We're gonna let the stewards sort all that stuff out.
Yeah, and I think, and I think Mr. Ryu is getting a primer in how to drive under a full course caution from race control.
To be fair to these guys, especially those that are in this league maybe for the first time, maybe haven't seen. Although we did have one at Interlagos the last time.
Interlagos, to start the race, as a matter of fact.
If you're used to, in other leagues, they use the built-in yellow flag and full course caution. Here in the Ricmotech series, we don't use the built-in full course caution. The built-in, all the lights come up, everything tells you, it starts telling you who to follow and exactly what order to be in. It's a little more manual here in these leagues. This is how my private leagues that I run in operate. And sometimes it takes you an extra lap to kind of get everybody in the right position and make sure everyone's on the right page. As you can see here now, we will restart the race. Looks like they're going to try again, stagger the restarts so that the GTPs are a little bit further up the road than our GT3s. Again, that helps the field a little bit. And as it looks like we're down to 5 cars currently running at the front of the field in GT3.
And I am getting word that we are, I think, going to be restarting this race. It is going to be a single file restart, Larry, but they are asking that GT3 field and our GT3 leader, Travis Schwenke, to back the field up a little bit, as you mentioned. So we do have that gap, but it will be a single file restart. And the word from race control, much like in club racing, I do not believe the GT3 cars are going to need to wait until they get to the flag stand. That essentially racing starts when the green flag command is given, and so that's the primary reason for trying to separate them out right now.
Yeah, although those GTPs are so lightning fast, you could, even with GT3s being a pretty quick car, you could snuggle them up underneath the rear wing of those GTPs, and as soon as that green flag drops, those cars are gone. They are fast.
So the question is, and we haven't taken a look, is whether or not Shane Larson. Oh, yeah, there we go. I just wanted to see if Shane Larson had taken the pit speed limiter off, or if they were going to drop the green flag and he'd have to worry about getting bum rushed by the entire GTP field as he's fumbling for the right button. But you can see they're in first gear.
I know we don't normally talk too much about fuel strategies this hour of the race, but there was talk that maybe this could have to be a 2-stop race as a 90-minute long race tonight. This yellow, a lot like what we had seen a couple weeks ago at Interlagos.
And Larry, we are back to green flag racing here. Let's continue that. Yeah, so for the GTPs, the original thought was that they could do about 35 to 36 minutes under green flag conditions on a pit stop. And so, I think even with the couple of full course caution laps that they made, they're probably still going to need the second stop. But this could change things considerably for the GT3 cars, as they are now back underway as well. We're looking at the GT3 cars probably under green flag conditions, able to do about 42 minutes on a single stint. And so the thought was, they probably need a splash and go at the end of the race, but we've seen, for example, some of the Orion drivers previously that have been able to stretch the fuel out all the way to the checker flag.
Spin at turn 1 in the back of the GT3 field. I'm trying to see who that is.
I believe that may have been Lucas Dragata.
Maybe. I've definitely seeing him trailing the field, but we got a good little battle going on here in the GTPs between Stephen May and I think that's Marcel Leclerc in the 33 and the 50. As they're running down towards Canada, side by side, even with Marlon Jones.
And Marlon Jones right in there as well.
Interesting is it looks like Leclerc slowed up. I wonder if he had a slowdown he picked up somewhere. You can pick one up around here if you really cut maybe turn 8 you can cut. There are a lot of places where you can pick one up.
Yeah, and I guess with the GTP cars, you could probably get all the way down the Canada corner before the timer runs out.
Usually you get about 30 seconds, and so you can get pretty far. And so, a lot of people, when they get those slowdowns, they tend to try and just clear them as fast as possible. The strategy way is get to the next corner and just go real slow at the apex.
All right, Larry, and I just heard from Race Control, Kenny Duvall, driver the number 63 GT3 Pro Ferrari, getting a drive-through penalty for jumping the restart. And so he's got to take that within the next couple. Oh, look at this
right behind
going
Jeff
off.
Jacobs.
Yeah, Jeff Jacobs, who is your leader in AM, and he now is just trying to get that Mercedes back on course. He's going to drop from the lead all the way down to 6th in Pro. But I think more importantly, Larry, he loses, I think, 11 positions overall.
He was trying to find a way back on, but that concrete wall from the left side, it comes in very quickly and eventually erases all the grass. So he needed to get in as they were coming off 3 wide off the last corner of the pack behind. Luckily, he's able to get in, but track position lost a long ways.
And getting word of another drive-through penalty. Dean Dibdahl, driver the number 19 BMW, getting a drive-through.
Yeah, that's Lucas Stragata there on that restart through 1. Looks like he got into the back of, I'm not sure if that was Casey or who that was.
Yeah, it looked like John Casey.
Yeah, may have been.
Yeah, so, and it sounds like Dibdahl might have gotten together with John Casey with the 78 machine.
Maybe. Dibdahl's all the way up there right now, running alongside Steve Daniels. So we'll have to see how that goes. There's really a lot of action going on right now. As there's Dibdahl, you can see him in that BMW just ahead of now Steve Daniel. Remember, Dibdahl started from the pits.
And so I mean, there's that possibility then, as he was working his way up, that perhaps he did get into the back of John Casey. Yeah.
There's that breathe for David Payton. You can hear it running the onboard here in that Lamborghini as he goes through the kink. Just got to breathe and then get the car settled and go back to the gas.
And that is Mark Feil, the number 777 Ferrari. That is an AM category driver directly ahead of him. Running second place in AM is that Ferrari of Feil. As we look a little bit further back here, David Payton in the number 64 D2D Lamborghini, currently running 10th in Pro. He's got another Ferrari ahead of him. And coming down the pit lane to serve his penalty now, Kenny Duvall, now pitting in from, I think he was coming in from 6th in Pro. And of course, this is going to drop him all the way back through the field now to somewhere around 24th position overall.
Yeah, it looks like there's still another review ongoing for the restart. It doesn't say who, but we'll have to wait and see if there's something else they come up with. It's crazy. Again, we've got 34 cars that came out in set qualifying times tonight. One of the biggest fields I think we've ever had in any of these Monday night Ricmotech series races. So a lot of action and a lot of anxious drivers who want to get their race ongoing here. Even though it's 90 minutes, they kind of want to be leading here in the first 5. And a lot of penalties being handed up because of it.
And and I'm wondering, Larry, of course, this is just now the start of the new iRacing season for 2023, and I'm wondering if there were any additional changes to the tire modeling for the GT3 cars. I heard that perhaps they had made changes to ensure that they couldn't go more than a single stint at the beginning of the last season.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they made some more changes and maybe they take a little bit longer to come up to temperature, and maybe some of these drivers got caught out.
I haven't seen that, but certainly here it has been an issue all season for that. But maybe some of the drivers just getting bitten by it a little bit hard tonight, maybe more than normal. You do all your practice, and it is actually looking at track and air temps. Might be a little bit cool here tonight, so maybe they got caught out by the cold temps. It's cold this time of year up there in the Kettle Marine.
That's right. although not only is there no rain there, there's no snow there either. Yeah, that is a neat little move there.
Ryu. Yeah.
By Ryu. Yeah, and so Ryu, is in the, you can see there in the number 5 Lamborghini just a couple of weeks ago, actually at Sao Paulo for the very first time. He was racing in the Lamborghini. He had started off the season, I believe, in the Porsche 911, and just did not gel very well with the car, and in the switch over to the Lamborghini had to drop all the points. He lost all the points that he had gained while driving the Porsche, so pretty much has to start from scratch. But good run so far, as long as you discount that little accordion thing during the full course caution.
Well, he did not set a qualifying time tonight, so that's Tom Pichette now recovering there, heading into the pits. He had that issue there at the last corner, but Ray Ryu did not set a qualifying time. Now he's up 15 spots from his grid position, so he's our big mover so far tonight, and looks like he's got sights on some even more moves coming up as we flash to the front now to Morez, who's fighting with a couple of our Orion drivers. This front four hasn't really changed at all since that opening couple of corners.
Yeah, and Iago Morez was very strong at Sao Paulo. As we go back, and let's take a look and see what happened to Tom Pichette here coming through turn 14. Looks like he may have just lost the left rear into the grass there, or the dirt on the exit of the curbing, and just brought him all the way across the track into the tire wall, but conveniently right at the pit entrance. Yeah, so Iago Morez, 2 weeks ago at Sao Paulo, Mike Dam was not here. Matter of fact, Travis Schwenke was the only one of the 3 Orion Racing entries that started at Interlagos, and Iago Morez put up, I think, a pretty good fight. He finished about 8 seconds back from Schwenke, but still to finish in second place. Very strong finish.
So another penalty handed out, this to Brennan Horn, the number 45 car, for avoidable contact. He's been given a warning. It's not actually a penalty there. So they're busy night for our stewards, aren't they?
Yeah, indeed. And so taking a look here at, and I'm looking to see if Dibdal, and I still see Dibdal still sitting up in the top 10. So, I mean, he may be waiting for a better opportunity to take that penalty. I would say for both Dibdal and Horn, who started off at the back of the pack.
It looks like our overall leader, Shane Larson, now starting to make his way through the middle of the GT3 field. And look at this is like me at rush hour traffic. It's just blowing by. No, I'm not that crazy. Come on. But he is flying through there.
Yeah, and that's what I said here, where, the advantage of these very long straightaways at Road America, unless you're going to get caught up between, with 3 GT3 cars wide going down there, all trying to outbreak each other in the 5, it's the perfect opportunity for the GTP machines to get around traffic, just like they're coming out of turn 7 and going down the hurry downs.
The car's so fast. I just checked his speed. He was about 152 miles an hour going into 8. That little short downhill straight. He's approaching 160
just to give you an idea, the top speed so far for Shane Larson, 185. Yeah. And better yet, Marlon Jones, a 193 in the speed traps. Whereas Mike Dam, 167. Yeah. So about a 30-mile-per-hour difference between the GTP and the top GT3 cars.
As we are on board with Mike Dam right now, still sitting in the draft of his teammate. I wonder if there's a little bit of fuel saving going on again. Going back to that potential fueling need for a second stop. All these guys can do everything they can to try and save some so they can avoid a second stop. That's Brennan Horn there, letting the GTP car go on by.
And that was an interesting move there by Marlon Jones, just to stick the GTP car right along the apex curbing and keep it on the apex curbing to allow the GT3 cars to track out at Canada. I think I scared Rich Dibdal in the chat, because he's fairly certain that it was the 119 car that got that one of the Dragatas that had gotten the drive-through penalty. Lucas Dragata with the drive-through, and not the 19 of Dibdal.
Yeah, and that was the tapping into the back of Casey at the restart.
Yeah.
So yes, that was on Lucas Dragata, not on Dean Dibdall, who's currently continuing to move through the field, having started from the pit lane, all the way up to 6th overall in the GT3s.
So Larry, I was telling you how I had an incident at Road Atlanta this weekend where I had flashbacks of Brennan Horn chatting with us in the YouTube chat while he was on the grid. So we had rain at Road Atlanta yesterday, and Riley Salyer, who some of us know is a former B-Spec champion in the Sports Car Club of America, taking the win for, as a matter of fact, here at Road America. He was driving an E-Production Mazda Miata, and it had been raining a good portion of the day, but the track had started to dry out. And I got a message from Kyle Keenan, who is also a former B-Spec champion, to tell me that Riley was definitely on wet weather tires when everybody else was on dries. And how did he know that? Because he texted him from the pit lane. as the car's been getting ready to roll off. Yeah, exactly.
Riley is not exactly an old, old seasoned veteran like you and I. He's one of the younger generation, so he can do that kind of stuff. Me, I try to do that. I end up doing things like, forgetting to attach my Hans to my helmet kind of stuff, and I have to sit there and fumble with my gloves on for 5 minutes.
Oh my. Yeah, I find myself at, in a very odd position. The generation of racers before me, I know they used to bring cigarettes and matches with them in the race car in case they had a mechanical issue during the race and had to pull off on the side, they could get a smoke. And now everybody's taking cell phones along with them in case I think it was matter of fact it was Daytona last year, not in the Global MX5 Cup, where a couple of drivers wrecked out going down into turn 1, and one of the racers that wrecked out took a selfie of himself next to his wrecked race car while they were waiting for the emergency teams to come get him. It was just, it stuns me sometimes. Here as we're watching right now, Jeff Jacobs pull up right to the back of Edgar Sancinelli. Jacobs, who was our former leader in GT3 AM, now finds himself just off the podium. Although a long way to go. We're only 23 minutes into this 90-minute race, but Jacobs currently sitting 4th in AM, and you'll see that he's got Mark Feil ahead of him. He's got Baron Glover, the 2 Ferraris ahead of right now ahead of Sancinelli. So we got actually three Ferraris in a row. That is 1, 2, and 3 in AM currently.
Watching Sancinelli pushing the limits there, the kink. He manages to get to this time. We'll see how many more times he decides to push. But remember, as we had seen, Jeff Jacobs had that bit of an issue right there at the last corner on the lap, a couple laps ago. So he's kind of on a bit of a recovery drive. You would like to get by these guys, get back to the front of the GT3 AM field, but he's got to pick his spot. This place, there are places to pass around here, but you got to have to set people up a little bit. This isn't just simply drive around them by any means.
No, not at all. And in fact, this entire group of drivers that we're seeing is actually positions 1 through 6 in AM. So besides Glover, Feil, at Sancinelli, Jacobs, we've also got Dominic Angelico here, and now is Jacobs coming down to the inside on Sancinelli. Looks like he might get the move done. Not done yet as they come into 3rd, but look at this now. Sneaking down the inside is Angelico as well.
Yeah, it looks like Jacobs even squeezed just a little bit there. As the quote-unquote turn 2, right? It really isn't a 2, except it's a bit of a kink between 1 and 3. And Jacobs, I think, may have been driving a bit straight, almost squeezed Sancinelli to the outside of the track, but luckily managed to pull it back in. But you can see he's quick coming off some of these 90s. And that's important.
Oh, look how late on the brakes. That's Ray Rue in the Lamborghini, making up 2 positions. That was aggressive.
Oh, and look at the counter move by Sancinelli.
Oh, this is some great racing right here. So I guess, Ray Rue, who did not feel comfortable in the Porsche, he's certainly dialed into the braking system on that on that Lamborghini Huracan. That was a great move in the 5, but you know, you go that deep in the brakes, you just don't carry a lot of speed out of 5, and we saw where Sancinelli was able to return to favor underneath the Corvette bridge.
Yeah, you gotta, as they say, stick the landing. You gotta make sure that if you're gonna make that move, you gotta stay to the inside. And maybe he overemphasized doing that and gave a good run back to Sancinelli, who was able to make the counter move. But now it looks like he's under 5 for Angelicchio behind him, and down this long straightaway here down to Canada Corner. Angelicchio is not going to make the move. He's going to stay back there, but he's right on Rouge's tail as they come through Canada Corner.
And what you saw there coming out of turn 1, Russ Ruddick, driver of the number 95.
Oh, and there goes Sancinelli into the wall.
Ooh!
Just got a little loose there, Bill Mitchell, and just sent it around.
There we go. Now he's got to try and find a way to get the nose of that car pointed back towards the pavement. But it looks like he took a hard hit.
Yeah, I don't think that nose is pointing the right direction at all.
And Jeff Jacobs now moving to the inside on Mark File, coming down into turn 1 where he made the pass just a lap ago. Move Jeff Jacobs now back into 2nd, but Mark File taking a look to the inside, not quite close enough alongside. I'm still freaked out by the side of Jeff Jacobs' car with the SCCA wagon wheel, just a larger version of the real rear tire on that car.
Looks like a big train.
Yeah.
I'm just reading the comments on the YouTube feed. Rich Dibdall says, "Hey, I think there's debris on the track. We need another full course caution," knowing that Dean's like, several seconds down from the front 4. I'm sure he would love an opportunity to get up behind the back of them now that he's cleared the rest of the field. But I don't know that's going to happen there, Rich. Sorry, you're just going to have to maybe wait for the pit stops to see how Dean can maybe make up some of that gap. He's having a good run, but 4 seconds is a pretty good long ways.
Yeah, and you can see how hard he's pushing the car. He went down into turn 8, and the car, the real big wiggle from the rear of the car on him under braking.
Pushing it enough to drive the tires off of it?
Yes, always.
His father seems to think he's got high tire wear.
Doesn't matter what the chassis is, huh? And hey, so look at this, breaking out to a bit of an advantage now. Travis Schwenke has now opened up about 5 car lengths on the 93 of Mike Dam. Iago Mores has also fallen a tiny little bit off the scent of our leader, but it is still our top 4 drivers. Jennifer McDonald holding on tight there to our top 4 drivers. Now about 4 car lengths separating each one of them as they complete their 12th lap, starting at lap number 13.
I'm looking at gaps. The gap that you see there between Iago and Jennifer, for example, between 3rd and 4th, about 7/10. And that's a little more than maybe you want. I personally like to be somewhere in that 3 to 5. Maybe 5/10 coming off the corner and then draft up to about 3. She was a little bit further than that, but nothing too crazy. She can still sniff a little bit of draft.
Yeah, and we always talk about, like, in the MX-5s or in the Spec Racer Fords, as long as you're within like a second or so, you should have a pretty good draft. Obviously here in the GT3 cars, you're just kind of at the tail end of it at 7/10 of a second.
We have a new leader in AM. It's Jeff Jacobs now, just getting around Baron Glover for that lead.
Yeah, and that's 3 laps in a row going into turn 1 where he initiated the pass, and Glover didn't really make it all that hard on him. Maybe wanting to get a little bit of a draft himself and stretch out the fuel savings a little bit, maybe between the extended caution period that we had at the top end of the race, and maybe with a little bit of drafting, he might be able to make it on just 1 stop. We'll see.
Yeah, if this were a 30-minute race, he would have put up a heck of a fight. We are 30 minutes into our 90-minute race. I can tell you, somebody's faster than you, and even if they're in class, you are way better off in a long race letting them go by and racing your own race, your own pace with who you think you're going to finish near and what you have to do to stay there. You start racing someone that you think is faster than you, you're really just wasting your time, in my opinion.
All right, and somebody who is not wasting much time, Shane Larson, our leader in GTP. He has now opened up almost a 35-second advantage over Mayforce Racing Stephen May.
Oh, the apex speed as he crossed the curb at 8 was just astounding. And look at him here, 140 miles an hour coming out of the carousel here.
Coming out of the carousel, oh my gosh.
Let's watch the kink.
Does he lift?
A little breathe at 155 miles an hour. 187, 189 before the brakes. Wow. That is motoring.
Yeah, And it just looks smooth. He's not sawing at the wheel all that much.
They missed an apex there, though. That's a tough apex to catch there. You almost want to just get through that corner. You get too much apex and the car bounces around.
Right.
So he goes around. I think that's Steve Hawk.
One of our Canadians, I believe. Is that Packer? Maybe? I think that might have been Andrew Packer.
It was Divock in the number 12.
Ah, yeah. No, you're right.
As Larson now coming up on that GT3 AM battle. That's the 777 Mark Philly, and then Baron Glover, of course, right in front of him. Look at him just launch off the corner, snaking between them. Wow.
Yeah, that's absolutely nuts.
So these, you can see here, you were talking about a little bit gaps. I think that gap now is even increasing. Schwenke and Dam now 8/10 as they come through that carousel. And Dan may be a little bit worried about Yago Moraes and Jennifer McDonald behind them, but Schwenke right now is doing what he can to try and break that draft.
Yeah, they are definitely closing back down here. And Jennifer McDonald coming up onto the back of Yago Moraes as well. He's going to have to look not only forward, but he's going to have to look back as well as they come down into Canada corner. And I think McDonald, you know, she plays the long game definitely, and you know, does not force the issue without having thought about it a good deal. And I think she knew that she definitely wasn't close enough to Moraes going into Canada to try and force the issue. And she's just going to follow around here probably for a couple more laps, try to close things down, and maybe both Moraes and McDonald will have a chance at the number 93 machine.
Yeah, I'm curious if any one of these three are doing a little bit of fuel saving and trying to stretch that first stop. You know, if 42 minutes or 44 minutes is the number that you're at and you need to get to 45, it doesn't take much. A little bit here and there. If you could just sort of coast into the braking zone, you could save that bit of fuel and maybe make that first stop at 50 minutes and be able to make the last stretch in just the 40s. So let's keep our eyes on those as we're at the 30 into the 34th minute now.
All right, Ray Rue coming into the pits now for what we assume is his first well, at least his first, possibly his only pit stop here this evening, running all the way about to the end of, actually, well, we were saying that their pit stops could run, that they could probably run up to 42 minutes in GT3, so maybe even a little bit early, and especially given that full course caution, very early, rather than trying to stretch it out. And so he'll definitely need to come in for a second stop here this evening.
And, you know, in the recent rounds, we have seen these two in particular, the two Orion cars, the front, Travis Schwenke and Mike Dam, really stretch their fuel loads and have very short pit stops. You know, would not at all be surprised right now if Mike Dam is doing some of that fuel saving to make sure that that's a short stop as well as later, which means these guys might be the last two of the GT3s to stop. What the two behind them in Moraes and McDonald are going to have to do is find a way to save a little bit of fuel, but they've got to be quick and efficient on their stops so they can come out in front of the Orion cars when they do finally stop. If they can be in front, if nothing else, they can maybe keep that pace to a minimum. If they get down, it could be a pretty long run to the checker if the Orion cars have any bit of an advantage. And there's a car off to the track right. I'm trying to see who that was.
That is the 67 machine of Andrew Packer.
A lot of damage on that car.
Yes. What do I always say, Larry? It makes the front end look better. But
I'm not even sure that BMW looks better. That's a whole lot of front end damage. As Jennifer McDonald kind of peeked him for a moment there to Yago Moraes. Thought better of it. But yeah, she's certainly the aggressor right now and making Yago think about it. They just don't want to lose sight of the two Orion cars. So she's got to be careful when she picks her moment as Shane Larson goes blipping on by, literally S-curving, like slaloming between all four of these.
And McDonald then pops back over to get into the draft. Let's do this, Larry, as we're a little bit past the top of the hour and don't want to miss too many of the pit stops here. Let's take a quick break. Thanks to our partners and sponsors. And when we come back, we'll take you all the way to the checkered flag here at the National Park Speed Road America, where you're watching the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech World Challenge, powered and presented by Proforma Texas Elite Graphics and new this season, Butt Kicker. We'll be right back.
Ricmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment. Whether you're just looking to have fun, train for race day, or become a serious esports competitor, Ricmotech has you covered. Hundreds of name brand parts. Support from experts that love sim racing. Trusted by the pros. There's only one place to go, Ricmotech.com. Ricmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, Ricmotech.com.
The search is over. The most comprehensive league scoring solution is here, with the ability for multi-level championships, custom incident tracking, post-race time penalties, support for heats, drop weeks display, multi-car team scoring, advanced web widgets, rookie championships, a custom paint system, and load those results in seconds. Visit extremescoring.info today.
And we're back here at the National Park of Speed, Road America, for the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech World Challenge, round number 5 of 7. And I'm Greg Ginsburg along with Larry Lefty McLeod. And Larry, just as we went to break, of our top 4 drivers, first one to blink, Yago Mores brings his car down the pit lane.
He did. It looked like he may also have taken tires. We can't quite tell 100%, but he was definitely up on the jacks. So we'll see if that's if he's going to have a bit of a sketchy outlap and cold tires he has to manage. But that could help him if he does it now, to have tires to last the entire 90 minutes, the 40 some odd laps these cars are expected to make. So that'll be interesting to watch. The other 3, Schwenke, Dam, and McDonald, just continue to plug away. And there they are. Out in the front of the field, opening his gap in the GTPs, is Shane Larson, continuing to just pull away Stephen May in second. And there's a good shot of Shane Larson, race leader. And there, that is the 50 of May, now coming around to Bill Mitchell. And right on his tail, it's Marlon Jones. That's the battle for second in GTP.
Yeah, that has been a nice little fight, Larry, pretty much from the start of the race. You know, we saw early on where I think we had, was it Marcel Leclerc was part of that fight early on. Of course, Tom Pichette had his off over at turn 14 where he ended up impacting the wall. But these two have been going at it now since we went back to green flag racing around lap 6.
Yeah, and you can see right there the various time gaps. Marlon Jones looks like on the average here quite a bit quicker than May, but every once in a while Jones slips back. But now he's up under the rear wing. He's got a bit of a draft. See if he decides to make the move now going into 5.
Ooh!
Look at the defensive center of track line for Stephen May. Jones having to take a bit of a evasive move there, but he'll be back here in a second. He'll try it again, probably into Canada. He's just got to reset, get himself down the hill.
Yeah, and I would suspect, Larry, as we saw that every other lap, Jones had a bit of a time advantage over Stephen May, and I'm sure a lot of that probably had to do with traffic, for example, like right here, going into turn 8, where Marlon Jones had to stand on the binders because he had a GT3 car going into the apex. In that case, it was Steve Daniel in the number 96 car heading down towards the apex just ahead of him.
Yeah, Steve's did a real good job of staying at track right, kind of delayed his early braking, delayed his turn in to try and let Marlon up inside. So let Marlon go on and chase May up the road. He's a second and a half back, but you know, they'll have an opportunity. But look at this. Jennifer McDonald, a good clean exit off the final corner. Mike Dam, not a good clean exit. Jennifer's going to take advantage of it, see if she can pick up some of that draft. Schwenke, if he's going to help his teammate, would stay as far to the left as he could, but he's given a little bit to the two of them. Let's see, side-by-side threshold braking into one. It's McDonald now to the inside of Dam.
And I'm wondering now, is Mike Dam had fallen a little bit off of the lead of his teammate Schwenke, if maybe Mike Dam uses this to his advantage and does a little fuel savings, sucking into the draft right behind Jennifer McDonald, and let McDonald pull her along a little bit.
Well, I like being in the middle of the sandwich because you get a little bit of push draft and a little bit of pull draft for fuel economy. I think that's kind of a good place to be. At the tail, you always worry about car in the middle having that good pull draft, but you don't have any push draft behind you, so you really got to work a little bit. If the two in front ever split and you get the giant hole in the air, that'll help you a little bit. But I suspect Mike Dam, considering he has yet to lead a lap in this race, everything has been trailing Schwenke. I guess he's probably got some fuel to save, pretty good amount of reserve right now.
Yeah. All right, so back on board with the Mercedes-AMG GT3 of Jeff Jacobs, who, as you see here, has worked his way back to the lead. Actually did it a number of laps ago, getting around the Ferraris of Glover and File, and I guess also a little bit earlier than that, Greg Brockway as well. And we see here as Jeff Jacobs is now coming up onto the back of, I believe,
That's Lucas.
Yeah, this is Lucas Dragata, who is a lap down currently.
And with a very wicked car right now. He's not trying to block it all. This is not a position.
He's just trying to keep it on the track.
He's just going to keep it on the track. Look at the damage that Lucas has to the front of that car. He's just trying to drive it. And it looks like it's not a happy Porsche right now. He's got damage, I think, to the front and rear. Well, we had seen him make contact earlier in this race in turn one. I think he hit the wall in that contact. So
well, and he was also I thought he was Lucas was the one to go around right here coming out of the kink on the opening lap.
Yeah, he's been involved now with a couple of wrecks at either end of this racetrack. And right now he's down the order as Jacobs gets to the inside. He's fighting Jacobs a little more than maybe he should, considering his position. He's trying to find exactly where he's at. So Jacobs, of course, we said was leading the M category. Lucas is down the order. He's 22nd overall. He's 19th, I think, overall GT3s. I don't see exactly where he is in GT3 Pro, but not leading.
And so Jennifer McDonald now has worked all the way up to Travis Schwenke, and that has left a bit of a gap back to the 93 machine.
And they're running a pretty good clip. They each just ran their fastest lap of the race, so it's not like Schwenke's letting her into this. They're both pushing hard as Marlon Jones now is trying to get around all three of these. They're not making it easy because they're in their own battle.
Yeah, and I don't think and you notice there he pulls back in. He doesn't want to get in the middle of this fight.
And he's 7 seconds now behind May or something like that. He's trying to see the exact, about 8 seconds between May and Jones. So he's lost sight of what was that great battle for second in the GTPs. But he's trying to be careful, pick his spots.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's trying to be careful, but as they were coming out of the carousel, so Jones had decided to take the rim shot, go all the way around on the outside of the carousel. And as he was out there, not so easy for the GT3 cars, even with all the aero, to dramatically change their trajectory. And it really required Mike Dam to pull that car back down to the inside, because if he'd let it track out as it had wanted to, he would have ended up right into the side of Marlon Jones. As we see now is Marlon Jones bringing his car down the pit lane. He is the first of our top 3 GTP drivers.
He's probably kicking himself for not doing this a lap ago, considering the struggles he was having to try and get around those three. He's probably wishing, I should have just pulled in 1 lap earlier and done it. This is the exact halfway point of this race, but we know that they did have a lap or 2 under a caution. So I'm wondering, is he going to have enough fuel to make it to the end? He might, as it'll be about 44 minutes to checker when he does finally come out.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and again, we thought that under green flag racing, they'd get about 36 minutes, and now pitting in from the lead, it's Shane Larson.
He made it to the halfway point, but again, without a yellow flag expected in the second half of this race. going to be interesting to see if these guys need to splash and go, or if it's going to be a lot of fuel-saving strategies for all of the GTP cars.
Well, I mean, certainly at this point where Larson had, and we're seeing now is Marlon Jones starting to leave his pit stall. You know, where Larson had over a minute advantage on Stephen May. I mean, I think if anybody has the ability to save, and whether he's going to be able to save enough, you know, I think Larson definitely could dial things back just a little bit.
Well, we just caught a replay of fan favorite Bobby Childs going around, coming out of the carousel into the wall at that bridge, and he is taking the tow. He's in the pits. He's out of the pits, it looks like, at a minute 45 of pit time. He's back on track, I think. No, he's not back on track yet. The timing of scoring for a moment flashed away, but it was such a big field.
No, he's definitely.
Yeah.
All right, now Stephen May coming in for his pit stop, and again about a minute 10 or so back from our leader. Is Jonathan Grabowski, our director in the YouTube chat, saying that we should pour out a cold one for Bobby. Something tells me we were talking about drivers with cigarettes and or cell phones in their cars. Yeah, I think Bobby probably keeps a 6-pack in his Ferrari.
I think he's more of an old Milwaukee guy or a Spotted Cow guy.
Either that or Schlitz, one of the two.
There's the cat known as Dean Dibdahl coming in. Let's see if he takes tires to his father's prediction. He is amazed how well the tires have held up so far on that BMW. We'll see.
Yeah, and we can see a lot of these drivers now. Well, did Dean just go for the wrong pit box? As he now pits in. We have Thorman and Daniel coming in as well, and I think David Payton pitting in as well.
Pits are busy, as Steve Daniel, as you mentioned, is in. The GTP car, Stephen May, leaving the pits. Jones still in.
Yeah, let's take a look at Marlon Jones.
Yeah, this might be why he's still in the pits, as he's going through turn 8. Oh, yep. Yeah. The tail end came around as he hit that dip there at the apex of 8. That could be why he's got some repairs to do inside the pits. That's unfortunate. He had such a good race going. He was in that good position for a podium, and now he's going to have to try and chase it down a little later.
All right, as we jump back over to our GT3 leaders here, Travis Schwenke and Jennifer McDonald. And
somebody missing from that battle.
Iago Mores is sitting down currently in 5th position.
Well, Mike Dam's 2 seconds back from Jennifer McDonald and Schwenke. He's lost touch with them. Very unusual for Dam to lose that kind of pace this stage of the race. Maybe I don't know if he got caught with some passing traffic and GTPs, or if he got a slowdown or what, but he's currently a good 2.5 back outside draft range between Schwenke, McDonald, and then back to Dam. But Schwenke and McDonald both just came in, and Mike Dam right behind them. So the 3 leaders in GT3 Pro are in. We'll have to see where does that then put them. With Iago Mores, we know was the first of the stoppers. He was in 3rd when he came in. Let's see how this one plays out with these 3 nose to tail. Who's got the quickest pit crew?
And I think this was definitely a good play by Jennifer McDonald to just follow Schwenke in. Now, if you remember at Interlagos, she had a very long pit stop and had fallen back, as it now looks as though all 3 drivers are taking more tires.
Let's see who's quickest on cold tires. Also remember that Mike Dam spent that entire first stint trailing somebody with opportunities, if he took them, to save fuel. Let's see if he's got the quickest pit stop, and then can he handle the cold tires? Same thing for McDonald and for Schwenke. But we know that if they're anywhere near Iago Mores, his tires are warm now. So let's keep our eyes out on Mores as these 3 make their way out.
All right, so Dam was the last car off the jacks, but you would expect that since the amount of time to change the tires is all going to be the same. And as they come off the pit lane, it is Travis Schwenke, and he's maybe picked up another half second or so here on Jennifer McDonald.
Maybe a full second even. He's got about a 1.5 seconds, but then, as Mike Dam cold tires have bit him, he is into the wall coming around 1.
And he is in the gravel trap, and he is now, he's going to lose the position to Iago Mores, as Mores now is going to move up to 4th.
Dibdahl's got warm tires already. He's been out there for a lap or so. and he might be able to get around Mike Dam as they come through 3 together.
And
yeah,
he is. He's going to pull right to the inside as he almost got into the back of the 93. The 93 out is going to try to defend, but does not have the pace at this point to stay alongside. Does he try to come deep down the inside? That would be so counter to what Mike Dam we normally see him do, and he's going to slide in behind the number 19. I'm sure Rich is probably going nuts.
Yeah, well, there's a little bit of rear damage too. So you can see it on the back end of the Orion BMW there as he just tapped that wall as he backed into it. So, speaking of damage, that's Travis Schwenke, your GT3 leader, spins around. That was the 29 that got into Patrick Prevenus. Yeah, as maybe it looks like Schwenke on his cold tires may have spun at 8. Prevenus nowhere to go. There goes Dibdahl and Dam right around to Prevenus with lots of damage. Schwenke looks like he's calling for a tow truck.
And his car is getting a tow back to the pits. So
that leaves your leader, Jennifer McDonald.
Jennifer McDonald with now just about, what are we looking at, Larry? About 40 minutes to go here, a little bit less than 40 minutes left in this 90-minute race. And Jennifer McDonald is your new leader as we have both Baron Glover and Mark Feil, the 2 Ferraris that were actually leading temporarily the GT3 field. They are our GT3 leader and second place runner in class for the moment. They come in. Of course, they are looking to be, I think they are some of the last GT3 AM drivers to pit. Most of the AM field has already come in.
Well, we're watching those 3 leaders come in for their stop. We watched them all go up in the Jackson. We were saying they're all going to have cold tires. Who can drive their cold tires the best? Clearly, both Orion drivers struggle on the colds. Jennifer McDonald, no struggle. Apparently, she's able to now open a lead. She's got 9 seconds on Yago Mores. Remember, Mores and her were side by side when they came in. Mores may have struggled a little bit on his cold tire out laps. Jennifer appears to have no struggle. She's got a big lead right now. Dibdahl up to 3rd with Mike Dam's struggle. Dam right on his tail. We'll see how well that BMW of Dam holds up, considering the damage he's already got. Yeah,
and I was just going to say, because of course, Larry, you know, we've talked about the great fuel-saving ability that both Dam and Schwenke have exhibited in prior racing. And with, you know, it looks like now with the damage that the 93 car has taken, he's having a bit of a challenge keeping up with the pace of Dean Dibdahl. And you know, if he's going to move up through the order, that ability to fuel save may have just been taken out by the tire wall out on the exit of turn 1.
Yeah. Well, he's gonna have to be fighting just to get up to a podium now. As Dibdahl, remember, started this race from pit lane, and you know, strategy or not, maybe it was to avoid some first lap madness, which in fact he did avoid it, managed to get on through, and he's just been solidly creeping up the order through the rest of the race. Now he's got one of the perennial favorites in Mike Dam right on his tail. It's a pretty good little matchup between these two. Probably the best race on the field right now.
And Larry, Dibdahl on the last lap, 3 seconds faster than Yago Mores.
So they're catching Mores, who's 3 more seconds up the road. I wonder if there's something up with Mores. Although he's been holding form this lap.
Yeah, he may just be managing the equipment and also trying from where he is to save as much fuel as possible. And
so, well, yeah, to that point, I'm looking at pit times. Again, none of this is perfectly accurate, but looking at Dibdahl's pit time, 38 seconds, Mike Dam 33, Chris Thorman 34. Get down to Yago Mores, 26 seconds on his pit stop. I'm wondering if he's fuel saving.
Yeah, if he ran that much shorter. And remember, also remember, Mores was the very first of our pro cars to come in for a pit stop, and that would leave him with a very large fuel fill necessary on that second stop. And we were
thinking, yeah, he stopped before the 45-minute mark. It was right around the 43, 44. We were saying these cars could probably only go 42. So maybe he's really trying to make sure he doesn't have to stop again, even if it means he ends up giving up a position to these two. And when they finally catch him, but maybe he wouldn't have to get anything further. So let's watch that gap slowly close now between the second place runner Yago Mores and the third place battle right now between young Dibdahl and the veteran Dam.
And so the question is, can now Mike Dam drive the tires off of Dean Dibdall's car? Right, Rich?
Yeah, it looks like that's an interesting place to pass. He's gonna stick in behind.
Yeah, coming out of the carousel to try and get underneath Dean Dibdall, maybe push him out a little wide.
He tried to, but yeah, nobody wants to go to the inside at the kink. Maybe last lap at best, but certainly not here with 35 minutes to go. But he seems to be hitting his exits very strong right now. Is Mike Dam trying to set up Dibdall? And that's how you drive Road America. You have to get strong corner exits because the straightaways are just so long. And watch this exit here for Dam. He's going to work to get on the throttle early and see if he can get underneath the rear wing of the fellow BMW. That's close enough to have a draft to pass. Let's watch it happen. Unless he's lifting.
Yeah, again, Larry. Well, and here we go. He's very late on the brakes going into one. And so he's going to pick, if he can keep the car on track, and he does, he's going to pick up a position from Dean Dibdall. So moving back up into third. And I was going to say, even as they were coming down the straight, it didn't look like he was able to make that much up on the draft from Dibdall, but it definitely got into the brakes much later in the one.
Well, they also were about 2 to 5 tenths quicker than Yagamores in front of them.
It's Dean Dibdall.
Ouch.
Dean Dibdall moving drivers right behind Mike Dam as if he was going to try to go around the outside in the 5 and just made the move about 100 feet too early, Larry, and he just put it right into the wall.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. His racing was so good tonight to make that little mistake there and take himself out. Oh, that's sad. That's just unfortunate for him. Had such a good race going. Started from pit lane to work his way all the way up into running in the podium provisional spot there, and just to put it in the wall going into 5. It's unfortunate, but that leaves Mike Dam now with a chance to try and catch Yago Mores. You can see by the graphic, 6/10 lap 24, another half a second lap 25. Mike Dam is coming for Yago Mores, and I worry that Mores may be thinking he doesn't have enough fuel on board to make it another 32 minutes, but he's trying.
Yeah, he's going to try, and maybe
maybe he needs
the
Mike
long
Dam
shot here. Chris
behind.
Thorman sitting about 7 seconds back. There's always a chance if Mores has issues with fuel that Thorman might be in a position for a podium here.
Yeah, if you're Thorman, for sure. You just want to stay solid, steady, consistent, and maybe have a shot at a podium. If you're Mores, save some fuel now, but if you get behind Mike Dam, now you have a chance to draft and maybe coast and try and make it to the end of this race. It might actually be a better strategy to finish behind Dam than to be out there running by yourself.
And just got word from crew chief Rich that Dean's VR headset died. So essentially, the lights went out for Dean Dibdall, and the car went into the wall.
His lights are out in the bar. It's don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Is pretty much what the sim was telling him.
That's right.
He's too young to know that reference, I'm sure. But his dad, Rich,
and I've been using the night the lights went out in Georgia one too many times the past couple of days, unfortunately. So Mike Dam now with very little challenge behind. You can see Chris Thorman there off in the distance, and Thorman last lap.
Good laps.
Yeah, it took a tenth or so out of Mike Dam, but the gap now down to 4.5 seconds.
Well, Yago Mores was able to at least clip a decent lap at a 2:05.05. Jennifer McDonald's still in the 2:04. She's just clipping 2:04s and high 2:03s. She's happy as can be up there, not worrying about anything. Mores, he's probably watching those gaps between he and Mike Dam. Thorman, he's just staying in the game. I've never been the biggest fan of driving the Lambo. They always seem a little bit too tough to catch the back end.
Yeah.
But right now it's working for a couple of these guys. Certainly for Thorman, it seems to be working well for him tonight.
And here we go back to the 3. We've got the 2 Porsches. We've got Mark File. We got Brandon Glover ahead. I say Porsches, the Ferraris, and I think the Ferrari just behind is a lap down.
That's Edgar Sancinelli.
Sancinelli, yeah. currently running in 18th place, 9th in AM.
There's been a lot of attrition in this race so far. We started this with 34 cars that registered for the race. Nick Horvath did not take the green. Everyone else at least tried to take the green. And I think we're down to about 19 still running.
I believe you're right.
I think Santinelli is the last runner right now.
Yes, with Dibdall out, Santinelli at 18th position is the last driver, I think, still circulating. Technically, Marlon Jones, Travis Schwenke, Pat Provenus, and Bobby Childs, as well as Andrew Packer, still in the pits.
Yeah. That's a lot of attrition at this place, and it just shows you, the way these tire models are. Cold tires will catch you if you're not careful. I recommend always a lot of practice on cold tires for these kinds of races. It may only be the once or twice during the race you got to do it, but those laps are so critical. Yeah, the first lap green flag, and then that first lap after your pit stops, probably the most critical laps of the entire race right there, those two. And a lot of folks have struggled right there. Good little battle though between these guys.
Oh yeah, I mean it's been going on for lap upon lap so far. And again, Glover, and probably Glover right now, I guess actually I was gonna say not the greatest race for Glover, but he's sitting second right now, but he's won 3 out of the 4 races so far, and if he takes home another podium finish, he's only going to be able to extend his lead. Currently coming into the evening, Dre Divock was running second in the championship, and Divock was off and out early.
Yeah, so again, some opportunities for some points getting here tonight. Maybe just solidify and stay where you're at in the case of Glover there.
Yeah, and when we think about GT3 Pro, of course Schwenke has won 3 out of the 4 races so far, but he is out now. Dam with the other win, he is out, and I think the gap from Dam to Moraes was 14 points coming into the evening, and with Jennifer McDonald only 2 points off the back of Moraes. So it looks like she may be able to leapfrog Moraes with the win tonight.
Yeah, we're going to start getting into the drops part of the season here.
Yeah.
Jennifer came in with 1 DNS race already, did not make the Watkins Glen round. So as we start to get into the drops, that's her drop. And if there's another drop to come still, you start to be able to drop some of those early season other finishes. She's got a couple of 4ths, a couple of 3rds. So anything she can improve on that becomes big points for her.
And Larry, did I see it looked like we had, I think that might have been Patrick Provenus off driver's left.
It is. And what's turning into quickly his least favorite part of this track is he had the contact with Schwenke earlier.
Yeah, right, same place.
Yeah, he goes and gets repaired, and here he is again, struggling coming out of there. After his 10-minute pit stop to take on the repairs.
And so since the pit cycle, Larry, we said that, Shane Larson, if he needed to do some fuel savings, he could probably lift and coast a little bit around here. I think when we checked, when he finished his pit stop cycle, he was, I think, 1:10 up on Stephen May, and now it is about 1:40 up on May.
And what's crazy is 3rd in GTP right now with the attrition that we have had is Marlon Jones, who's been in the pits for 17 minutes.
Yes, and that is because we saw Guillot out. I think on lap number 2.
Cachette, they've all had issues tonight.
Yeah.
Marlon can just get back in there. He can solidify a podium spot here tonight. He's technically still in the sim. He's registered in the pit still. 18 minutes of repairs into this. He may just be doing that exact thing to try and get a couple of points and salvage something out of this tonight. These two, though, we keep flashing back to these guys. These guys are a pretty good race, but I believe they're teammates. I don't know if they're really willing to push themselves too hard being teammates.
We'll see what happens when the clock strikes 2. And, as in 2 minutes remaining, which is about what a lap around here is. Actually, a little bit more, around 2:04 to 2:06 for them. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see if they just hold station or if they look to actually fight a little bit at the end of the race. All right, let's take a look at. I think we've got a shot on board here of Duval. And I think, Larry, let's take a look if he goes to the pit lane. No, he keeps going. Although that car is, oh yeah, he ended up going up the pit. Oh
no!
And he's back on track.
Back out.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you saw there, I thought he was going to try and continue, Larry, and the car started crab walking to the pit entrance. I don't think he wanted to actually go into the pits. The car thought better of it. But look at this. Now, as Mike Dam is pulled within a second of Iago Mores in the battle for second in GT3 here, and we've got, Larry, still 20+ minutes to go. I
really think Iago Mores is trying to sip fuel to the end of this race. He's turning high 205s when he's run a 204.0 in this race. There's no reason why he couldn't run at least mid or high 204s, even a low 205. He's running nearly high 205s, which tells me he's lift coasting to try and save fuel. They make it to the end of this race, and you're seeing that in the lap time delta between he and Mike Dam.
Yeah, no, it's huge. And as I say, I think, Larry, if I remember correctly, again, we said that the cars probably could run up to 42 minutes, but he came in, if I remember correctly, actually around minute 36. And that was and that was even with the extended full course caution at the start of the race. And I'm fairly certain he could fuel save for another 15 minutes, and he'd still have to take on a lot of fuel
just to get to
the end of the race.
He may be playing that game to see how much he can save by himself, and then maybe when he gets behind someone to do as much drafting as he can to try and get there. Because if you can save it, it may be the difference between, because they're 10 seconds ahead of Chris Thorman, so there's more time in the bank if he needs to use it to get to the end. But you don't make it, and suddenly you go from running for a podium to 10th place.
All right, so here comes Stephen May making his second stop of the evening.
Should be a splash and go.
And hopefully he's remembered to I remember from a couple seasons ago where we had Arthur Chan come in for a second pit stop and ended up taking 4 tires by mistake.
It's one of those,
he has that turned off.
You get in the rhythm of when you go to the grid and you start doing your rolling out lap, you go through the menus, you change your fuel to what you want, you turn the tires off, and then you come in for a pit stop, and if you have to make 2 of them, it resets all them. So remember to uncheck those boxes.
All right, let's go back board here.
Oh, that's gravel. That's a wall.
And it's a wall. And that was that Marlon Jones? Oh, Stephen May.
Hey.
So now we know why May decided to pit in.
Yeah, good time to go right on in. Maybe see if there's any repairs needed. As Schwenke maybe didn't take enough repairs, so he's letting people by. But
I think he was just letting drivers by through turn 1. He's already sitting down 9th position in pro, but down 22nd overall. I think just, and Larry, since he's had some issues with cold tires, probably best.
Good idea. Just take his time.
Yeah, exactly.
It's nice of him to let Patrick Preventis go on by and not get
and not take him out. Yeah.
But yeah, all joking aside, it's interesting. He comes back in with 20 minutes to go. I mean, obviously, anytime you get sim time, it's not about. You have the night set aside for racing. You may as well finish it off.
Right.
But he could maybe help teammates here. It's possible that if he were able to sync himself up with his teammate, if his teammate needed an extra lap or 2,
you can pull the 93 out.
Exactly. You could do a little bit of leapfrogging if you guys want to run fast. You could save fuel if your teammate needs it. There's ways to play this if you come back into it. Yeah, you go back to like the Formula One days when they're at some of the tracks with the super long straightaways, you know, and they'll start towing each other around,
Right.
you know, like at Spa going up, you know, down the Camel Straight or something. You could see that kind of thing going on here at the kind of straightaways to help with pace. Right now, I don't think Mike Dam needs pace. He just needs to pick a spot when he wants to get around Yago Moraes, who, by the way, just put the hammer down around a 2:04.7 now that he's got Mike Dam in his mirrors. I figured he was just doing something.
You know, but he probably held off as long as he could.
Was it long enough?
We'll find out, because he runs a little wide through one. May
It's a
not
sign
matter
that
if
he's
he
still-
starts to do that, because whatever the advantage he just opened up on Dam just disappeared.
And sometimes when you're fuel saving, you try to do everything you can to momentum the car. And yeah, you tend to use a lot more corner exits than maybe you would have before. You're just doing everything to carry as much speed through. But Mike Dam, it's at this point almost inevitable. When is it going to happen? He might just sit back and wait. He's got 18 minutes before he has to make a move. I don't know that he has any visions of running 13 more seconds up the road and trying to catch Jennifer McDonald. I don't know if that's even physically possible. At this point, he might just be resigning to finishing second, but he doesn't have to do it right away. And if he thinks that Moraes has a fuel issue, not a terrible idea just to wait behind him instead of giving him a full draft.
And you also notice from taking a look at the timing pylon there, Stephen May, who did have that off before he brought his GTP car into the pit lane, he is still in taking repairs. But I think we mentioned, Larry, that
I don't think he has to worry about losing
yeah,
a
I mean,
position.
with Marlon Jones down right now, and Jones is back out on track, by the way. But Jones currently, I think, 8 laps down from May. I don't think May has a lot to worry about.
Jones is working lap number 26. Stephen May is on lap 34. That's 8 laps. Yeah. And then there's the 3 laps to Larson, who's running lap 38 right now. It's a big gaps tonight. This track is eating some cars tonight. Again, quick lap for these guys. Let's see what it is at the stripe. 2:05s again. I'm wondering now if Moraes has tried to run and realized he needs to save some fuel. And Mike Dam says, "Do you want to save fuel? I can do that too."
Yeah, I was gonna say, it sounds like he decided to do the exact same thing. He's just gonna mirror whatever Moraes is doing.
Yeah, Moraes would probably have to slow down to about a 2:07 before Mike finally says, "Okay, enough of this," and goes on by. As there's the graphic there, Chris Thorman, he's about 9 seconds behind, about 10 seconds or so behind this battle here for second. Thorman currently in 4th.
You know, Larry, but I'll bet you that Mike Dam could theoretically just mirror everything Moraes does until Moraes has to pit in, and frankly, Dam could pit in at the exact same time and still probably get a couple of seconds.
I have a feeling Dam doesn't need to, and that's the game he's playing right now. Is he can wait it out. You know, he can wait as long as he needs to. Watching these two teammates here in the Ferraris. So that, of course, is Glover. Glover's teammate there. File he's only run one other round. Does not need to make this pass, and that might be part of why he's just sort of hanging out behind them, because he wants to make sure that Glover gets max points here as the one who's in the battle, obviously coming in with the points lead in flat. Wants to make sure he gets that. They're quite a bit behind, almost 20 seconds behind Jeff Jacobs, but for Mark, it's a good time to be a good teammate. Let your teammate up front there get the max points. There's the overall leader, Shane Larson, making his way around that never-ending carousel that plummets downhill while it goes round and round like a big corkscrew. Not that corkscrew, the other kind.
Nope, not that one or the one at Barber.
This is more traditional. It just goes. But look at the speed delta as he goes by Travis Schwenke, heading down to Canada Corner. And next up, Jeff Jacobs, your leader in GT3 AM. Going to be another lap down to the overall leader. And that is David Payton. Going slow right now.
Yeah, Peyton now running at 2:06s.
Exceptionally so. And I heard a radio message, didn't quite catch what it was.
All right, let's take a look here as he's coming into the carousel.
Oh, he's running wide. That's grass. That's not good. That's gravel. That's worse.
No.
Still hanging on to it. He's got a off-road truck racer in training. Lamborghini made tractors and race cars.
So did Porsche.
True. But he did survive. Did not make contact with anything, so he managed to hang on to it.
Yeah, just lost a metric ton of ground there as we're on board right now. We're not on board, but watching coming out of that same carousel, Jennifer McDonald, who is currently leading GT3 Pro. And Larry, I'm not 100% positive. I have to go back perhaps and look, but I think if Jennifer McDonald holds on to this, I think this would be
You're looking at Jinx. I may not let you finish this thought.
I know. I've had that effect on people and drivers many times.
I'm not gonna let you. You write that thought down, and then we can talk about that whenever we get to the end of the race, whatever the outcome.
This is what we're going to need from Extreme Scoring, from the great folks at Extreme Scoring, is individual driver stats.
Yes.
Kevin Ford.
Separately.
Can you whip something up in 15 minutes?
Laps led, fastest laps, maybe their lap record at various tracks in certain classes. That'd be fun. We got to get those guys working on that. And there's one of those guys who'd be working on this, Jeff Jacobs, of course, one of the admins for the league, currently leading the GT3 AM. He's putting out a good pace. I think that Mercedes likes this place. Certainly sounds good going around here.
Oh yeah.
Best sound of the entire sim.
Well, I was going to say I thought we had already decided that car was without a doubt the best sounding car in iRacing.
I love when we go on board. Thanks, John. So good. Just full song all the way up the front straight.
Back on throttle,
and when it's one of those, and you've been to Road America, we watched some fast things go around Road America. There is nothing like watching a car go by at 180 miles an hour down the front straight at Road America.
There are a couple of GT1 cars or Trans Am cars that just they suck the breath out of me when I see them and hear them and feel them.
Yeah, if you know names like Ernie Francis Jr. and those Tony Ave, these pro drivers that come and run some club races, they bring their Trans Am cars out to club races and they run those things at Road America, and they got the horsepower more than a GT3 car.
And here we go. It is the Italian horse and an Italian bull paddock, I guess, here, as David Payton has Baron Glover, Mark File, and I think we had already discussed Edgar Sancinelli, who's a lap down, or actually that's Proventus. Now I look at it back behind here.
There's a couple of laps behind this battle. He's about 4 or 5 laps behind this battle. So he's just been hanging here behind his Ferrari brother, and I guess the full horses all gallop together. But they're chasing down that bull, and I'm wondering if Peyton's got himself a bit of a fuel saving as well. As he's run quicker laps in this race, but right now he's not. So maybe wondering if a lot of folks maybe made some questionable fuel calls. This being one of them, we're still watching Yago Mores. I could be completely wrong, but he's holding off right now, Mike Dam. But again,
10 minutes to go. How much longer can he do it?
Yeah, well, they keep changing how fast. It's like they crank it up and then crank it back. Mike Dam, you can see right there, 2:03.7, fastest lap by a GT3 car tonight. Obviously, draft aided, as Yago Mores ran a 2:04.1. But we also know they were running high 2:05s about 3 laps ago. So this continues to swing. As they've got a GTP car right behind him, not just any, that is Shane Larson, race leader.
Our leader.
Figuring out how to get around this battle for second in GT3 Pro.
And Larry with
good.
Yeah, but I was gonna say he's got a number of laps right now on Stephen May. 7 laps. I don't think he really needs to press the issue at this point.
He does not. So, but he probably just wants to get by and let this battle just go on behind him. He did end up separating a little bit there between Moraes and Dam, a little over a second between them. But he just wanted to get out of the way. So I'm sure these two will come back together again. And I think that was Provetis again that we had seen just trailing in that shot.
The hood looks a little darker. I don't think that's Provetis. It's a black hood instead of a green hood.
Yeah. But I'll just keep an eye on these guys. And there it is. The
here we go.
Coming for Yago Moraes. Just could not make it the last 9 minutes or 8.5 minutes. This should be one of the quickest fuel stops, but unfortunately for Yago, this is the longest pit lane, I think, in North America.
Yes. Yeah, I was going to say it even makes the pit lane at Sonoma, which wraps around and has a 45-degree kink in it, appear short.
At least at Sonoma, it goes around a hairpin, so everybody's going slow. Here, you're going 35, 40 miles an hour, whatever.
Forever.
While everyone's going 180 down the front straight. So he's in. He should be out in a jiffy, and he is. But track position, the damage is done for Moraes. He's dropped to 5th. So he's back behind Steve Daniel. And as you said, Chris Thorman, for hanging around right now, finds himself in a provisional podium spot. He's got to hang on for next 7.5, 8 minutes, depending on where the checker's actually taken. But so far, a good night there for Chris Thornton.
Yeah, you know, and I'm still thinking, Larry, that with that extended caution up front, that Yago Moraes just got the pit strategy wrong here tonight. Yeah, brought the car in very, very early, and probably didn't need to.
May have been thinking on a number of laps, and had those 2 or 3 laps under yellow been green,
it might have been the way to go.
Yeah, he might have been a little further along at the time and all that, but unfortunately left himself with a splash and go. That's unfortunate. But as we're on board, Jennifer McDonald, who's catching up to one of the Flying Dragata brothers.
Teammates.
Teammates.
The Flying Dragata teammates, yes.
Sorry, Lucas and Leon. But brothers, I tried to push him. If there's a rivalry or not, he did. There's a little bit, it sounds like, between them. From Leo's point of view, there's a little bit, he doesn't want to get beat 2 races in a row, but at the same point, he did call him teammate first. That's pretty cool. I'm not even sure Rich Dibdahl is Dean Dibdahl's teammate, the way that Rich talks about Dean and his tires. But here in the Dragata household,
it's a marriage of convenience, Larry.
We need to get Dean's mom on the chat one of these nights. I think she'd be a little nicer about it.
Hey, and this is, Larry, now we've come full circle because...
Oh, no, there's Mike Dam. Oh. Just after being essentially given the second spot, just has to hang on. Wow, let's see where we go. That looks like Thorman right behind him with the 62 of Brockway right between them. He's
right with him.
This is it. Battle for second, Thorman and Dam.
And so we take a look now here, as I think this is also bringing, well, Steve Daniels a little bit further back. These are some lapped cars that are here. I think Daniel is maybe about 4 seconds back right now. But so. Yeah, this was bad timing.
I don't know. Did Mike make contact? Because that car looks like it's a bit more crab walking than it was before.
All right, let's take a look and see, Larry. And unless it was there's nobody in the rear view mirror. No, he just
curb.
Yeah,
and that is the wall.
Oh.
Yeah, he's got damage. He's crab walking. That car is not going to be fast. Steve Daniels going to catch him. And you can see him right now already behind him. Daniels going to catch him before they even get to Canada. Mike Dam may have to retire this car. That's unfortunate. And that's the second time that he's... Remember that after they came off the first pit stop and took new tires, he had trouble at... he had trouble at turn 1. And, wow. But he had trouble earlier on in the race at 3. Yeah, that car is definitely hurting. And there you go. A lot.
And Steve Daniel getting by now, so move Daniel up into third.
Daniel's going to move to third, Dam to fourth. Dan's got 14 seconds to Yago Mores in fifth, and only 4 minutes of time on the clock. That might be 3 laps, depending on where Shane Larson, overall leader, is. Can Mike Dam stay 5 seconds off his pace and hold that position over Yago Mores in 3 laps? I don't know that he can. That car is limping pretty hard. There's Larson right now going under the Speedville Bridge.
And remember, there were 14 points separating Mores from Dam in the championship, and Dam's going to try and hold on at least for another lap. He's not willing to throw in the towel yet, but ooh.
Well, he should be able to. If he can stay on the track, and that's a big if, because that
car's hunting everywhere.
Yeah, a car with a variable toe is never an easy one to drive. But if he can stay on, he may end up giving up the spot to Yago Mores for fifth. But Peyton is 26 further seconds back in sixth. So maybe that's where he's thinking. If he can just hang on, he can get a fifth.
Yeah, I just try to maximize the number of points you pull for tonight.
Oh, look at that. He had just turned 2:03.6, the quickest lap of the race by anything in the GT3. And then next lap, smacks a wall. How fast it goes away.
Yeah, so we've got a little bit less than 3 minutes remaining now in this 90-minute endurance race from the National Park Speed Road America. Your leader, and we're watching him right now, it's Shane Larson, overall NGTP leader, and
he might get white flag next time by.
Given they're running 1 minute 46s, and yeah, it's going to be pretty close, Larry, as he's now making the run here down to turn 7. Or probably not turn 7, that's turn 5. I'm sorry.
Yeah. For Mike Dam, that might be really good if Shane can get that white flag soon.
Yeah, the earlier the better.
Yeah, but of course he's just trying to get around the 64.
That was David Payton, currently running 6th in GT3 Pro.
And that, I mean, that's then was that Glover that was right behind him as well. So a lot of, right there, Glover, that battle, the second.
Yeah,
and
we've
third
got the two teammates there, second and third currently in GT3 AM. Baron Glover, the 13 machine, the leader of those two white Ferraris, and then Mark Weil.
These three are, I mean, this is all on the same lap. So in the GT3 world, if you just combine all the pros and AMs, Jennifer McDonald, of course, she's light years ahead of all this. Thorman's currently second. Jeff Jacobs is actually in between them somewhere, your leader in AM. He's actually closer to Jennifer than the second place in the AM class. And then you've got the Glover and Phil battle in the middle of there, as that looks like Yago Mores with Jeff Jacobs. So this is the 5th in Pro and 1st in AM. And there's the white flag. Barney's waving it for Shane Larson.
Yep, here we go. Last lap from Road America, and Larry, I'm looking at the YouTube chat. I know we had always wondered whether or not Stubby and Bobby Childs were one and the same, because we never saw them in the same place at the same time. But now, either Bobby's talking to himself or he's trying to explain what happened to crew chief Stubby.
I think he's talking to himself.
That's
I've had enough conversations on this.
highly likely.
Yeah, we've had enough interviews with Bobby to know that he clearly talks to himself. I mean, come on.
Hey, when it's the only person that'll listen. All right, so wow, there we go. White flag in the air now for Jennifer McDonald, our GT3 leader. And we saw there, Mike Dam is just, that has got to be one of the most challenging drives here, as Mike Dam continues to fight that BMW. And look at this, as Jeff Jacobs is coming up on Mores. Mores sitting down in 5th position in Pro. Jacobs is your AM leader, as they're going to come through turn 14 onto the Road America straight. And assuming Shane Larson doesn't get by them, which is not an assumption I'd like to make right now.
It's going to be close. He might get by one and not the other. And he does.
And
Jeff
he
Jacobs'
does.
race is over.
Yeah, there you go. Jeff
But
Jacobs.
Yago
Well, now we know Jacobs is going to have enough fuel to get to the end because he's got the checkered flag. The GT3 AM race is over.
But Yago Mores is still chasing down Mike Dam. He needed this extra lap to have a shot to catch Mike Dam because Dam is a couple of seconds up the road.
Yeah, we can see the Dam just now coming underneath the cheese bridge there.
Yeah. So let's keep our eye on that to see how close can Yago Mores get. He's got 6 seconds. And again, with a limping car, Dam right now is putting in a pretty impressive drive. His last lap was a 2:06.2 with a car that clearly doesn't want to drive in a straight line. If he can do that again on this lap, he'll hang on to the spot. Any mistake, and it's easy to do around here, could easily cost him the position to this guy. All the other positions are decided behind them, but this is still up in the air. And this race for her, unbelievable.
Yeah, just
rock solid.
Amazing race. Yeah, she's just been a rock star tonight. Car has been rock solid. She's just driven her line, and when she was there behind Schwenke and behind Dam, and she just held station and just waited for the opportunity. She took it. Jennifer McDonald, your winner tonight in GT3 Pro, as we're watching. That is Mike Dam still trying to hold on to that car.
I'm thoroughly impressed with how he's holding that car. You watch, every little input is a twitch as the front end goes and the back end twitches, and the back end twitches again. Clearly that right rear is just struggling underneath the back corner there. And there's Mores, not enough to catch Dam for that 4th spot. Dam's going to hold on to it.
There you go. So in GT3 Pro, it's Jennifer McDonald. Chris Thorman takes home 2nd. Steve Daniel works his way up into 3rd, takes the last step on the podium. Mike Dam, he's going to finish 4th. Yago Mores will come home in 5th with Peyton and Schwenke finishing 6th and 7th. Schwenke, who had led this race for so long, came off the pit stop, had the car go around on cold tires, well, got together Patrick Preventis, I think, finished the deal off for him there. So, he's going to finish, a number of laps down. Travis Schwenke only completing 34 laps. So finishing 8 laps back from our leader. And in GT3 AM, Jeff Jacobs, your winner. Baron Glover coming home in 2nd. Mark Feil coming home with the last step on the podium, and then Dominique Angelico, pardon me, in the number 48 BMW. He is going to finish in 4th with Greg Brockway finishing in 5th. All right, so Larry, let's do this. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to have interviews with some of our podium finishers here from the National Park of Speed, Road America, where you have just seen the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech World Challenge presented by Performa Texas Elite Graphics and Putt Kicker. We'll be right back.
Allow Extreme Scoring to do the work for you.
Ricmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment. Whether you're just looking to have fun, train for race day, or become a serious esports competitor, Ricmotech has you covered. Hundreds of name-brand parts. Support from experts that love sim racing. Trusted by the pros. There's only one place to go, Ricmotech.com.
The search is over. The most comprehensive league scoring solution is here, with the ability for multi-level championships, custom incident tracking, post-race time penalties, support for heats, drop weeks display, multi-car team scoring, advanced web widgets, rookie championships, a custom paint system, and load those results in seconds. Visit extremescoring.info today.
And we're back here at the National Park of Speed Road America, where you've just seen round number 5 of 7 here in season number 6 of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech World Challenge, presented by Performa Texas Elite Graphics and Butt Kicker. I'm Greg Ginsburg, along with Larry Lefty McLeod. And why don't we take a look at that finishing order here before we move on to some of our interviews. And big thing tonight here, Larry, is only a single GTP car in what, the top 15.
Yes.
We had a GT3 car second overall. Somebody call the old TRG guys. And it seems like 1993 all over again, with Shane Larson taking the overall win, winning in GTP, finishing second, a number of laps down Stephen May, actually 7 laps down, and I think technically then finishing third was Marlon Jones, another 12 laps down from there. In GT3 Pro, Jennifer McDonald from DTL Motorsports taking the win, with Chris Thorman from D2D finishing second, and Steve Daniel coming home in third. And once again, we see at least 2 BMWs on the podium in GT3 Pro, just maybe not the BMWs we expected to see, Larry. But Jeff Jacobs in his Mercedes AMG GT3 takes the win, with Baron Glover in his Glass Pro Esport Ferrari coming home second. His teammate Mark Feil finishing third in the Glass Pro Esport Ferrari, with Dominique Angelico finishing just off the podium in the wrong stuff machine. The wrong stuff, I believe, a BMW, coming home in fourth, and then Greg Brockway from Frito Sport finishing in fifth. And so we've got a packed house in the green room right now, Larry. Where should we start? Should we start with GT3 AM, perhaps?
Sure.
All right, let's do that. Why don't we take a look? We have Baron Glover, driver of the Glass Pro Esport Ferrari, finishing second tonight in GT3 AM.
All right, Baron Glover has joined us here. Baron, a good solid finish to your second place tonight, but it looked like a pretty crazy evening out there. Tell me a little bit about it from your side.
Oh, thank you, guys. It was crazy from the start, and my teammate and I had a setup that we had planned to do a fuel run and do one stop. And then again, as soon as the full course yellow came out, that all went out the window, and we were running really low wings and we were trimmed out, so we really didn't have the pace to run with Jeff. So congrats to him.
Yeah, Jeff, pretty quick tonight, but it was great to see you and your teammate kind of running there. Was he running there at that point for just support? Didn't look like he was trying to make any kind of moves on, like you guys had pretty well coordinated.
Well, I told him to pass me if he thought he was faster, and he was happy to hang back there. He said he really didn't think he'd be able to maintain it up there if he did pass me. We were both really about the same pace, so we just left it as is, and I got a couple extra points out of it.
Not a terrible way to manage the team, for sure. You came into this with a bunch of wins. Now you got yourself a second place to go with that. You can tell already Jeff Jacobs is coming, so this could be a pretty fun run towards the end of the season. But tonight, great second place finish there for you. Anybody you want to thank for that?
Thank you, guys. You always do a great job. My wife and I always watch the broadcast after the fact, and very entertaining. Thank you.
No, thanks a lot. Appreciate that. And congrats again, second place tonight, Baron Glover.
Thanks.
All right, thanks so much, Baron Glover from Glass Pro Esports. So, Larry, let's now move over to our AM category winner, and that is... Who was that? Oh, yeah, that's right. That Jeff Jacobs guy that Jeff Jacobs guy, driver with the number 38 Mercedes AMG GT3, your winner tonight.
As we scramble, who was it that won? Who was it that won the NAM class? That's right. It was the guy that spun on turn 14 early in the race and came back to get past the field and go on to win his class. Jeff Jacobs, congrats on that. Tell me a little bit about it from your driver's seat.
Yeah, got to make it a bit of a challenge there. So if I think if I could eliminate some of those lap one early turn mistakes, I'd be doing all right. But this track seemed to suit the Mercedes, really well. Has a nice pace out there. So figure, hey, you just get it back on the track and keep your head down and turn the laps.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at the point standings. It's not upgraded with this one yet, but I'm seeing you came into tonight with a bunch of podiums but no wins. So this is your first win for the season. While Baron Glover comes in, he gets second tonight. He had a good string of wins coming in. I think it seems like you may have maximized tonight. Maybe start making a push. You feel like you're a threat now to maybe win this class for the season?
Hey, we've got 2 weeks to go. We got Long Beach next, and then we'll finish up in Sebring. And so try to put the practice in there and give Baron a run for his money. And Dre Divac has been so strong as well this season, so I think we've got to watch out for him in these last 2 races.
Yeah, he had a rough start tonight, unfortunately. Kind of took him out there on that first lap melee. But for sure, Dre expects to be right there in the mix. But this could be a fun one to watch as we come up to the end of the season. But I get to ask you, anybody want to give a special shout out and thanks to tonight?
Hey, we appreciate all the members who come out every night to race and participate in this series. The quality of the racing out there is really high, and we appreciate it. And thanks to you guys for the terrific broadcast.
Well, awesome job tonight. Jeff Jacobs, your spin and then win in GT3 AM. Jeff Jacobs, tonight's winner.
Thanks a lot.
There we go. Thanks again so much to Jeff for joining us. Larry, let's move over now to our GTP, a good portion of our GTP podium. We're first going to bring in Stephen May from May Force Racing, finishing second tonight in the BMW M8.
All right, Stephen May, this is a pretty crazy race out there tonight, but you managed a podium in this crazy night. Tell me a little bit about your race.
Well, that's what we were just discussing. It turns out that I use VR, and I'm out here on the West Coast, and the sun's setting, and my room started going dark, and I started using head tracking, and I'm like, when Shane was lapping me, I got a little discombobulated there, and I was like, oh no. And then I got into a wrong line, and I slid off the track, but at that point, I was pretty much the last guy still in the race, so I was like, well, I'll just hang out in the pits until my car's completely repaired and finish the race. But yeah, that was
time catching you as it gets dark during the race. Probably wasn't a problem a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and we just changed our time, so and then I was like, the funny thing, I was like yelling to my wife, come in the room, you need to turn the light.
She saved you, and you managed to get a podium out of it. One crazy night. But even early in this race, obviously we had the big yellow, the big pile up in the GT3 field on the opening lap, some more accidents coming out of that. But as a GTP car, you're just trying to snake your way through it. It looked like the speed delta tonight was more than we've seen so far. That looks crazy.
Yeah, it was very hard managing the traffic today, and that was definitely a challenge, especially at the end then when I was kind of like, I didn't want to ruin anybody else's GT3 race, and so I was just trying to be as polite as possible passing, but sometimes if you're too polite, they get confused, and yeah, it can be quite a challenge just navigating the traffic.
Well, awesome job tonight. You still get yourself a good second place out of this. Anybody you want to thank for that?
Oh, yeah, my wife. She was my hero.
Managing the light, to bringing light to the situation, saves you and gets you up on the podium. So tell her thanks from everybody, and congrats to you for second place tonight. Stephen May.
Thanks. All right, there you go. That's Stephen May from May Force Racing. And Larry, we'll keep the lights on. All right, so let's now go to Shane Larson from The Wrong Stuff. He was our overall winner and, of course, taking the win in GTP.
Shane, I got to say, with all the action going on behind you tonight, it looked like a nearly flawless race for you. Awesome job out in the front, taking the win. Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, it was, as one of my teammates called, was a Sunday drive. Didn't have much to worry about. The pace laps made it interesting. Had to think about trying to get there on one stop, challenge myself there. But yeah, just was cruising today. Pretty easy.
Yeah, we even noticed, like, as you took the green flag and got off at turn 3, looked like you may have, that lesson learned of get some heat in the tires before going at it on those opening laps. And
yeah.
may have paid off for you tonight. But yeah, just amazing race. And just watching the attrition tonight. We started with almost 34 cars in this field. I think we ended up with about 17 still running at the end. I'm sure you could feel that, but it just seemed like every corner you came around, there's a battle of 2 and 3 cars in front of you. How do you keep your head straight?
Yeah, there was you just kind of have to just avoid the best of your abilities. But yeah, there were definitely some accidents that happened right in front of me. I forget who it was, but I think it was like P3 and P1 of GTs at some point both wrecked in front of me on the same lap. So I was just like, I'm staying out of it. I'm being safe. I'm gonna go 2 seconds a lap slower. Just chill out. So.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, from a point standing, you're starting to close that gap to Pali Kui. I know he's on a bit of a break. He'll be back eventually, but you're maximizing it now with the win here tonight. Of course, you had that win at Interlagos last time out. Are you feeling like you're ready for Pali Kui to come back and have a run to the finish?
Oh yeah. Long Beach and Sebring, my best 2 tracks on the whole service by far. So it'll be a good fight for the championship, and it'll go down to the wire. So it'll be entertaining.
Oh, I can't wait. This is going to be a lot of fun. But for tonight, you get to soak it in, enjoy the victory. You got anybody you want to thank or somebody you want to enjoy some champagne with tonight?
Got to thank my team, as always, Wrong Stuff. Doing a lot lately. Got a lot of guys joining the team, and who knows, might have some new guys coming over here. Yeah, other than that, everyone who came and watched and supported me, and again, you guys for putting on the show every other week and doing what you guys do.
Makes it easy on us when you have a great race like you did tonight. Shane, victory is all yours, and you get to go enjoy it. Congrats.
Thanks.
All right, there you go, Shane Larson, our GTP winner tonight for the Wrong Stuff Racing. And so, Larry, let's move over now to GT3 Pro. We're going to start off with our second place finisher in class, driving the number 60 D2D eRacing Lamborghini Huracan. It's Chris Thorman.
Chris Thorman, when the green flag dropped tonight, did you think you'd end up second place in this race in GT3 Pro?
No, sir, not at all.
Well, as the night went on, it seemed like you were just plotting along and just staying in this, keeping your head together, and then watching all the cars continue to hit walls around you. Are you noting that? Are you kind of figuring out, like, wait a second, I might have a podium out of this if I could just stay clean? At what point do you realize that may come your way?
Well, I never thought I had a podium until I saw I passed Travis up against the wall. But I missed last week's race of the sports car series with COVID, so I'm still real weak. When I made my pit stop, if I wouldn't have been in the top 5, I'd have just called it a night because I felt so bad. But I was in the top 5, I couldn't stop. I'd just keep on going. And like you said, I just kept passing people up against the wall, and here I am, my best finish ever.
That's amazing. For being sick and be able to come back like that and to finish this race strong and to focus on a night when about a third of the field was out with some sort of major wreck, to come home and not just finish, but finish in the second spot. Big accomplishment for you. So welcome back, of course, and glad to see that you're feeling a little bit better. And I'm sure this podium is going to make you feel even better than that. But I'm sure you got some folks you want to thank, maybe some D2D boys for helping you get here.
Yes, sir. I got to thank, first and foremost, Performa Elite Texas Graphics for paying all my bills. And I got to thank Kevin and Extreme for giving me a place to play. And the D2Ds, all those guys, especially David Payton, for telling me what I'm doing wrong and helping me get faster. And y'all for showing us to everybody.
Well, awesome job tonight, Chris. That's an incredible second place finish there in GT3 Pro. Chris Thorman and D2D eRacing. Congrats.
Thank you.
And good thing, Larry, it looked like the good portion of the GT3 Pro field was doing social distancing there for Mr. Thorman. As they were just pulled 6 feet over to the wall. All right, let's do this now, Larry. We've got one person left to talk to. It's Jennifer McDonald from BTL Motorsports, your winner tonight, driving the number 99 BMW in GT3 Pro.
Jennifer, incredible race, watching all the attrition and all these other drivers continue to struggle. But the moment, I think, was when you come into the pits, right in between the 2 Orion cars, and it looked like all 3 you put on fresh tires. And we were saying, who can drive the cold tires the best? Clearly, the answer was tonight was Jennifer McDonald. Tell me a little bit about what it was like to go out there on the cold tires and watch the Orion cars just disappear.
Yeah, I have to say I was kind of shocked to see Mike go off behind me there, and I didn't expect that from Travis. And then I just saw that, and I'm like, I'm just gonna keep it clean, run good laps, and get it done. So really disappointed for Orion. I was really looking forward to, I think, a really good battle. I don't think any of us had exactly shown our full pace at that point in the race, so I was looking forward to that. But I'll take the win. It's kind of nice to get one here. It's not easy.
No, it's not easy at all. You had a really good battle through the whole first segment of the race. Yagamores jumped you at the start, but you looked like you were just being patient. In the four, you were just a train pulling away from everybody. And then the pit stops happen, and all of a sudden you find yourself all alone, just kind of weaving through traffic here and there as it comes up. But what's going through your mind in that last 30 minutes of the race is just, you're not really racing against anybody, but you know you can't miss a mark.
Yeah, it's a long 30 minutes, that's for sure. But I did a really good stint yesterday in practice where I felt just awesome because I was trying to figure out the tire wear. I think honestly I could have double stinted the tires here. But anyway, I did that stint and I was pretty much by myself, and I just kept hitting my marks, trying to keep my lap times, within a tenth or so. And so I've tried to just put myself in the same frame of mind as I was yesterday, and clearly more traffic and probably a little bit more nerves, but just wanted to bring it home but still drive well.
Yeah, unbelievable race for you tonight. So congratulations on that victory, and I'm sure you got some folks you want to thank for helping you earn this one.
Yeah, I sure do. Sure, everybody from the league, and Travis and Mike from Orion, really been fun chasing them around this season. I'll also do a shout out to Arthur Chan. He's racing in that Canadian Porsche Cup championship, so wish him luck. But other than that, just appreciate my other half for letting me do this on Monday night.
It's always good to have somebody kind of helping you, encouraging you, and giving you opportunities to get out here and race. And tonight, victory is all yours. You can definitely go and enjoy it and savor this one. These are great. So congratulations.
Yeah. Sounds good. Pretty pumped. You guys have a good night. Thanks again.
Thanks.
All right, there you go. Jennifer McDonald from BTL Motorsports, your winner tonight in GT3 Pro, her first win of the season. And so, Larry?
Yeah, that was a weird one. That was a great one.
It was. I mean, again, tons and tons of attrition, much more than I would have ever expected. Once we got past that big incident on lap one, a lot of this stuff was, contained to, one or maybe two cars at most, and we didn't see a lot of negative interaction between the GTP and GT3 cars tonight, which was very good to see. And it was so good here, Larry. We're going to be here again next week. That's right. So let's take a look at our upcoming schedule here for our different Ricmotech series. Next week, next Monday night, the 20th of March, we're going to be back here at the National Park of Speed for the Ricmotech Sports Cars Series, our GT4 cars and TCR cars for round 6 of 8. A little bit shorter race next week, only going to be 60 minutes. But then in 2 weeks, the World Challenge returns, and we've heard a couple people spill the beans already. In 2 weeks, we're going to be at Long Beach on the Grand Prix circuit, going to be running that street circuit in the close confines and all the cement walls, and more importantly, that hairpin at the end.
America, that's for sure. It's a very different track.
I don't even know if you can get these GTP cars to go around that hairpin at the end, Larry. We'll have to see. Again, that'll be in 2 weeks, March 27th. And then May 1st, just it's coming up pretty darn fast. It is the newly renamed Club Sports Series, our Mazda MX-5 Global Cup cars, and the brand new Toyota GR86 Cup cars. Don't know, or actually I know, but we can't tell you yet where they're going to be, but you don't want to miss it. Going to be a 60-minute race.
Not going to share that with me, are you?
No, probably not. No. So for Larry Lefty McLeod, for our great production team behind the scenes, Jonathan Grabowski and John Robertson, I'm Greg Ginsburg, and we'll see you next week right here at Road America. Have a great week, everybody.
Ricmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, ricmotech.com.
Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.